Okay. I think we have everything ready for Megan's surprise party. I think. Okay, we have the balloons. Hardy has got some snacks going. Noah brought in Pin the Tail on the donkey. Patrick is gonna be here in like 2 seconds with Megan in tow. We need to hide. Okay, quick, Jet, turn off the lights. God damn it! What do you want? Are you freaking kidding me right now? We need to go over this one more time before she comes to the door. They're gonna come in here any second. And Megan, it's for her freaking birthday, guys. What? Okay. Just, we'll go through this again one more time. So, just, I guess, all of these warnings and crap. Alright, so, the Dub Talk podcast, we could contain language and content that may not be suitable to younger audiences, so, listener discretion is advised. Just stay behind. Also, in case we do spoil everything, so in case you haven't seen the series Asteroid in Love or any other anime series or films or anything like that, stop it. Just please use caution in case while you're listening to everything that's happening here. And finally, okay, Andrew, seriously, you need to put down the chips. Like, stop. You gotta hide. And finally, opinions expressed may not reflect the entirety of the Dub Talk podcast as a whole. Shh. Okay, shh. All right, I hear them. They're coming. Surprise! Happy birthday, Megan! Are you freaking kidding me? Jackson, you were supposed to be here like an hour ago to help us set up. What the heck? Oh my god, I guess we gotta reset everything before they get back. We gotta be quick about it, though, because they're gonna be back here any freaking minute. I guess, afterwards we'll just enjoy everything that's happening. Alright, enjoy!
Good evening, all you bright-eyed stargazers, and welcome to Dub Talk, the place where space is the place, the sky is the limit, and nothing stops a pair of lesbians from finding a shooting space rock. I'm your host, Macho Man Randy Megan. And tonight we're here to talk about the one place that hasn't been spoiled by capitalism, space. With me tonight, I have... As much as I love the Tim Curry one, the George Takei "You Are Made of Stupid" is my actual favorite now.
That's a good reason.
Anyway.
That's a hell of a way to start this.
Welcome to the Dub Talk Earth Sciences Club, where tonight, I, your host, Macho Man Randy Megan, will take you on a stargazing journey and a sparkly rock-gazing journey to bore to the heart of the dub of Asteroid in Love with my scientific crew, Dwayne the Rock Noah.
So I want to get a song stuck in everyone's head who is of a certain age here. And to do that, I'm just going to say, the Asteroid in Love will take you on a journey, a never-ending journey, a journey to the stars. Now, everyone who's seen Galaxy Express 39 is like, son of a bitch! Hi, guys.
So not me.
We've got Jet Cena.
It's hard to smile, but welcome to the Jet. I'm sorry. I was trying to think of like a quick space thing, and that was the first thing that came to mind.
I'll allow it. And we have Steph Flair.
I don't have a space joke. Instead, I have cupcakes. Because it's November, bitches, and... Look, I know we're here for a different reason, but we're recording this the day before my birthday, so...
Oh, fuck, your birthday is tomorrow.
My birthday's tomorrow.
Dual birthday episode!
I did not. Well, yeah, dual birthday episode, but you're the one in charge, so...
Yeah. Tonight we are not here to talk about the one thing I wish Noah probably wishes we were talking about, want to be strongest in the world. Tonight we're here to talk about a wholesome experience about looking for rocks on the ground and in the sky, learning what makes the stars flicker, and really, really wishing that Japan wasn't a bunch of cowards and would let women kiss. Tonight,
Suzu says yes, Japan. Suzu says
we are
please,
here
Japan.
tonight for Steph's 31st birthday.
Yes.
Right.
Well,
And
not
for
really.
my-
This is mostly for yours, but not me.
But mostly for my 30th birthday. As this will be
Happy
going up on
birthday,
November
bitch.
19th, and tomorrow will be November 20th. And I will be probably either at Anime NYC or drunk in our Airbnb making them watch Something Witty Entertainment read Sword Art Online chapter 16 and a half.
Listen,
No,
we still also have the blind
Not
date with
again!
Nick Cage. We still have the blind date with Nick Cage to do too, you know.
Oh, we can do that on Friday. But anyway, we are here tonight to talk about Asteroid in Love, the 2020 series from Studio Dogakoba, which, per Funimation's back of the box, get a heartwarming glimpse into how friends and fate can help you achieve your goals. Reunited in high school, Mira and Ao are bringing their passion for astronomy to help the Earth Sciences Club help fulfill a childhood vow, and that is to find an unnamed asteroid, which is really, really hard as we come to learn.
Yes. it is.
Yes.
But along the way, we'll encounter rocks, maps, lesbians with bread, climate change awareness,
Meteorology.
bozus, meteorology, boring, children using Senku's worst nightmare. Did I mention the lesbians?
No, you didn't. Are there lesbians in this?
And
oh my god, there are
illegal-
lesbians?
And illegal uses of bunny suits.
It's only for that one episode.
It was
Well,
for
they also have the maid outfits, so.
Of course, you can't have that. You can't have a cafe. It's a rule in Japan, actually. They passed it last year. It says, not allowed to run a cafe that sells sweets and goodies without putting your servers in maid outfits. What, they're boys? I don't care. Put them in maid outfits. It's a rule
hell
now.
yeah, man.
Cross-dressing, like.
If they're a
why
girl,
not?
put them in a butler outfit. That's hot.
They
I
did
mean,
that.
they did that with Suzu's sister,
They
so.
did that in the show.
Good job, Maggie.
So, yes.
You live up to the Meg line. Proud. Anyway, tonight we are here to talk about the dub of Asteroid in Love, which was commissioned by Funimation, but produced by their partners over at Okatron 5000. You know, the guys who are known for making the other space series. For dubbing that other space series. That has a lack... You know what? No, I can't say it has a lack of lesbians.
It does have them. It's just it does have them. It's just the people who watch that show are cowards and would accept them.
Yeah. How dare.
Fair.
How dare.
Look, I get some people don't like to eat kale and cauliflower, but they might go great together. And not with cabbage. Especially undergrown cabbage. Anyway, Okatron, they do Dragon Ball Z talking stuff. They are in charge of the dub of Asteroid in Love, which
The
I would also
drub?
like to point out if you did catch it in the credits for anybody who was using the home video release version of it, which I was. They actually said it was at Okatron and various other recording studios because this was recorded during the pandemic.
Yeah, so
Yay.
there was some remote work going on here.
Yes. But let's get right into it. Let's shoot right into it. Get our little tiny telescopic gazes. Space pun, space pun, space pun, space pun. First up,
All
we have
space ones.
we have our no space core, not now.
Space!
Starting
At least
with our
there's no aliens.
But the cake is not a lie in this one.
exactly.
Very true.
Anyway, our director is one Mr. Raleigh Pickens, our assistant director is Stephen Hoff, and our writers were Emily Neves and Jessica Kavanaugh. Raleigh Pickens, you'll know, is the director of series such as Moriarty the Patriot.
Yay! Sorry. Listen, I'm obligated to get excited, alright?
Steph, please
Yes.
keep your scone dry.
I will do my best, but I have to dish. I might have to dish the tea. So.
Oh god, I'm getting Shimonetta flashbacks.
I haven't even seen Shimonetta.
That's never a bad thing.
I know it's not.
No, it is when you're...
I mean, it depends on what part you're thinking. Are you thinking of the pen? Click.
No,
click,
I'm
click,
thinking
click,
of something worse and I'll explain it after because I don't want to have to make Jamal edit that out. He's also done Tamayomi the Baseball Girls, and of course that small independent anime that nobody has ever heard of, Dragon Ball Super. His assistant Stephen Hoff has done series such as Fuck You Light Novel anime titles, Log Horizon Destruction of the Round Table, Sakura Wars the Animation, and Wave Listen to Me. Our writers, Emily Neves, one of our writers, Emily Neves, you'll have known for her work on Classroom of the Elite, Planetarian, and Fairy Tail Zero. And Jessica Kavanaugh has worked on series such as Island, Sakura Quest, and Stars Align. So...
Yay!
You don't know, you made a noise first. You get to go first.
I was saying yay because there's a lot of titles that you listed there that are really good. As just a bonus.
Yes, quality anime Island.
Yes, that was the best show that came out that season.
I only watched one episode and that was like, nope.
Oh, you missed the
nope.
time travel and the titties and the
So
wild
I missed the
hair
normal
and...
PA. So a stereotypical PA Works show is what you're telling me.
Unfortunately,
well, no,
so
the main girl doesn't have like a debilitating disease. Oh wait, that's just that one guy.
I don't think that's what PA Works had in mind when they started out on such a strong foot with stuff like Angel Beats, but that is unfortunately the reputation they've got now. The thing I wanted to point out though was I'd never really heard of Raleigh Pickens before, like his name. So I went to look through his credits, and one of the first oldest things I saw in here was he's been in the game for a long time, not necessarily in just ADR directing, but mixing, behind the scenes stuff. One thing that really jumped out to me, he has been doing this since the days of Midori days. He was a mixer on that classic show.
I am not surprised by this.
That surprised me, but that shows me how the people behind the scenes who we don't usually mention their names, we definitely should recognize them because there are amazing people doing mixing,
Yes.
doing the leveling, just doing the kind of things that we never see get credit for. So good job on Raleigh. You were doing amazing work all the way back in the Bush administration.
Listen. The engineers make your shit sound good, so...
Yes, they do.
I would also like to point out that Raleigh also was the mix engineer for the show.
Oh, yes, okay.
Interesting. I missed that
He
credit.
pulled double duty, basically, then.
Yeah, because that is a big task. So as far as the actual directing on this, what can I say about Asteroid in Love? What can I say about the show as far as the directing goes? So, like Megan was saying, this is a Doga Kobo show, who are the people who make super cutesy girls doing cute things, sometimes in a work environment like in New Game, and other times in more risque endeavors. This is definitely on the cutesier, innocent side of things. You got lots of girls in a girls-only Astro Club. Science major people freak out
Earth
over this.
Sciences.
It's
Earth
amazing.
Sciences.
I've never seen a show that not just have people who are interested in geology and space, but also it takes the time to explain a lot of the things to everyone.
Yeah.
To the point that I have to wonder if the show got funding, like the original Japanese got funding from the government. So this could play on educational hours, like the way that PBS has to have education in all their shows. Did they get money for that?
I know it's based off of a manga, though.
It's a little too short for that, so I doubt it.
I was it's based off of a manga, so it's possible, but I doubt it.
Yeah, if this got 2 cores or something, I could maybe believe that, but it's 1, so I'm pretty sure it was probably just a regular late night thing.
That's a good point.
Probably.
Yeah, if you're going to invest in an educational show, you're going to want to make it a little longer than that. That's fair. But how did Rowley and team direct this? So the thing to point out about the show is that these characters are incredibly goofy, but also incredibly sincere about their science. These are a bunch of nerds, and they are the nerdiest moe blobs you have ever seen in your life.
Nerd!
And I mean that in the finest, highest possible compliment possible, because they are in good company. We, the people who are recording this podcast, we are nerds. And no, you cannot deny that. You're a nerd.
Nope.
You're a nerd. You're especially a nerd. So this spoke to me. This spoke to me on a personal level.
Aww.
It's very cute.
So, and it's kind of an interesting balance because moe archetypes, like the original Japanese archetypes, are, higher voiced, cutesier. It's got a unique sound to it from Japanese seiyuu that doesn't always translate well to English voice actors. So the direction that was given to all these characters was they have certain characters who mock the material, and most of the rest of them, though, are very sincere. And when someone's not making a snide comment, they're directed to be incredibly friendly and sincere sounding. And we'll get to all the characters as we, get to them. But I didn't really hear any like off-directed lines in all of this. Like everyone maintained their characterization, and it was cleaned, polished, and just adorable. Like I can't stress enough how incredibly hot cup of cocoa on a rainy Saturday afternoon, adorable this show was directed.
Was that all?
I was trying to think like how do I work like ease into the writing portion of it here, because so in turning this into English dialogue, how well do Emily and Jessica do it? And the answer is they have to overcome a couple of like Japanese high school phrases, and I wanted to ask you guys about one of these because at the beginning of the show, the character of Ao has a keychain on that's in the shape of a whale, and she has that to remind her of the character of Mira Konahata. Now I looked up, and the Japanese word for whale is not Mira Konahata, so I don't know what the translation is on that. It's probably something that made more sense in Japanese, but in this case here, they didn't choose to make it like super apparent. They just have the character say, "Oh, you have this to remind yourself of me," without really explaining what that means. But that is one instance. And that after that, honestly, the show goes very archetypal after that. And all the lines and dialogue are super devoted to explaining minerals, boring, drilling. We need to look at every section of the sky. And all the other things in the nerdy section here that, again, I swear they got federal funding to put it in the dialogue. But Jessica and Emily did a really good job. And everyone speaks their lines really well on terms of the science side and the cutesy, let's have bread, and we're going to kidnap this character who's being moved away, and we'll take turns keeping her over at our house. So overall, very good job.
Yes, let's take turns keeping a
teenage
15-year-old
girl
at someone's house.
It's not illegal if you're also a high school girl.
Oh my god.
It's only illegal if we get caught.
Unfortunately, you're not wrong.
But yeah, so that's the thought. That's the initial thoughts on how the dub went overall. If you're listening to this as a viewer and you're wondering, should I listen to this in English or Japanese? You can easily listen to this in English and not really lose anything lost in translation. You will understand this perfectly well. In fact, you might want to listen to it in English because all the science speak might be easier to what's what I'm looking for? Retain. Might be easier to retain if you're listening to it rather than reading the subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how fossils were made. So that's what I got. Who else here knew how fossils were made?
I did not.
Well, I thought they were made when a mosquito gets put in amber and then
No!
a man in a nice white suit pulls it out and invites 3 people, one of them being Jeff Goldblum, to his park at his island in Costa Rica.
God damn it.
And then life finds a way.
That only works if one of those people you invite is Jeff Goldblum. If not, then and it doesn't fossilize.
Fair enough.
Oh, Lord.
So who wants to go next?
I guess I can go. So yeah, direction-wise, I thought it was pretty solid. They did a pretty good job on that front. I thought everyone here seemed like pretty appropriately casted. They all sounded solid. Admittedly, I am not like a super big cute girl doing cute things show kind of guy. So for me, there's always a fear with these kind of shows that characters will like generally sound the same after a while, which there are a couple of points where it almost feels like that happens, but they do. But they do a decent enough, but they do a solid enough job of like making all the characters sound distinct enough that you can generally tell who's who, even if you're not looking at the screen, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I agree too. There's that sense that in some instances, if like the camera's not on the characters, it takes a minute or a few seconds to figure out which character is speaking. In some instances, I don't know if I call that a point against the dub though.
It's not a point against the dub. It's it's not important against the dub, it's just kind of like, the inherent thing of like a cute girl doing cute things kind of show is that
Yeah.
is that those sorts of things tend to be very archetypal, so so when you're dealing with archetypes, they can sometimes blend together vocally, so like again having the characters sound to sync does help, and I think the dub does a pretty solid job with that. And writing wise, I also thought it was pretty good. As I did appreciate that there was like a pretty solid attempt to make some of the dialogue sound at least like a little more natural than you would expect from this kind of thing. Like there's not there's not like an aggressive amount of slang or anything, but it does sound like just natural enough that the characters do at least kind of sound like teenagers, which is a good touch. So.
The most polite teenagers you can get.
They are extremely polite teenagers, but they at least like they're extremely polite teenagers, but at least doesn't sound like wooden. So I definitely thought that Emily and Jessica did a pretty good job, and you can definitely tell that they were having fun with at least a few of the lines. So I also appreciated that, and yeah, this is just like a really solid dub. I can't think of anything I would particularly complain about. So yeah. Solid job.
Solid as a rock, right?
Yeah, sure.
Steph, go ahead.
I have to largely agree with what's been said so far. So, on the directing front of it, I really enjoy Raleigh Pickens as a director, and Stephen Hoff as well. I'll throw in there as well because I in the past couple of months I did watch Wave Listen to Me, and I thought that was really enjoyable. And of course, we all know I am obsessed with Moriarty the Patriot.
No kidding.
No shit. And I'm waiting for that second season. Raleigh, I know you're working on it. I would think, right? I think. Yes. Anyway.
They got him trapped in the basement, just working on it, slaving away at it.
You bet your ass I'm gonna talk about that show eventually. But anyway, that's not why we're here. So, with Asteroid in Love, I think the direction is very solid. The cast is diverse, having dynamic sounding voices in the core cast, adding some fun variety and dynamics to the show, rather than just having 5 characters with the same tone of voice for cutesy girls, because that can sometimes happen, and then that's ruins the experience. So having the dynamicism and the variety is very, very great, and I love it so much. And I know Noah will be able to answer this for me. Have y'all seen Konohana Kitan?
No.
Is that the cute? Oh, you mean the cutesy, adorable fox girls taking care of people in an old inn in the Spirit World show that should have won all the awards that year? No, I've never seen it.
We have video evidence that you have.
Sorry, I was like, what is that noise? And that's not my dryer. There's a fucking car outside of my window making noise.
Stealing your laundry is what it's doing.
It's not stealing my laundry. My laundry is I have laundry in my apartment. So no.
That's what the laundry goblins say.
Laundry goblin only steals socks, alright? There's always that one sock I can never find, and it's always a laundry goblin. Anyway, so, God, what was I saying?
Konohana Kitan.
Thank you. So, this show reminds me of Konohana Kitan. It's just fun, comfy, you can just sit down and just cozy on up with, like, some hot chocolate or, like, popcorn or something, and just with a nice warm blanket and just comfy, cozy, and it's so fun, and the directing really reflects that sense of it. But it and the writing do very well in terms of the science jargon, because as the guys have already said, you have astronomy, you have geology, you have meteorology, like you have a bunch of science jargon that could easily fly over everyone's heads.
Yeah,
but
maybe not,
I think
like not the concept, I don't think, but you're right as far as things like like some things that I personally learned was how you use a boring machine to get a sample. That's kind of cool. That's a really cool
I
concept.
learned about the very special rainbow.
Yes, that was a
Yeah,
good one.
Yeah, a lot of the science trivia in the show was actually genuinely interesting.
No, yeah, they made it interesting and also easy to understand from a writing perspective, and also how it was directed. Made it easy to understand because in the Earth Sciences Club themselves, there are members that don't know certain things. Because remember, it's originally 2 clubs merged into one, the Astronomy and the Geology Club. So they're learning each other's fields. So that makes it a little bit more easier to understand because you're seeing things through that person's perspective who is learning for the first time themselves how things work.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it very easy to understand, not too complicated or anything like that. Some of the one-liners in this show are enjoyable. They are very enjoyable. I only wrote down a couple, for instance. There was... So... There was a couple I wrote only for the first few episodes. One was episode 2. I feel like a sad turtle. When
Yes,
I was trying to like bring back
the
so
rocks
many
are
rocks in
heavy,
her
and I
backpack.
feel like a sad turtle.
Yep. And then another one, the only other one I wrote down in like episode 3 was like, thanks to your brilliant training, which includes leaving us alone, or something to that extent. It was very funny. But
I think one of my favorite ones was, "Are you a witch who can predict the weather?"
Yes.
and
No, I've just
and the
got an
girl's
app.
is like, "No, I have a weather app."
That was a
And,
good one.
I
was
think
a
there's
very good
one where I think one of the girls who's doing the boring says something, and she goes, "No pun intended."
Yep, accurate.
And then, of course, there's the Yuri bait line from the very first episode. One friend sends to another friend, "I don't have a problem if you're interested in girls."
Fucking Suzu.
Oh, Suzu is such a disaster lesbian, and we love her for it.
That's as close as the
great.
show gets to that whole, like you were saying about they're too cowardly to show 2 lesbians kiss. That's as close as we get.
Suzu, as a character that exists, is the closest we can get, but Suzu is also a fucking delight. No, but in general, I really enjoyed the writing and directing. It made learning about these different scientific fields that you don't normally talk about or see that much more interesting and fun to learn, honestly. And it's just such a comfy show. I just really liked it.
So what you're saying is that elementary school kids should stop showing the Magic School Bus, start showing this show in classrooms instead.
No.
I think you hear Jen's in the background going like, no.
I heard you, Jenny.
I thought there was an echo. Okay. But no, yeah.
No, I like the Magic School Bus. I'm just saying, like, we need something
How
fresh.
dare you do that to Lily Tomlin?
I
How
love
dare
Lily
you do that to
Tomlin.
The Magic School Bus.
See, no one's talking about the reboot.
You come into this house on the day of... You come into this recording on the day of before my birthday, and you insult Lily Tomlin's honor?
Look, I love 9 to 5. And I love her in Into the Spider-Verse. I would never say a bad thing about Lily Tomlin. Best Aunt May ever. Yeah, I bet y'all didn't know. She plays Aunt May in Into the Spider-Verse.
I'm smoking a cannoli, like a...
Smoking a cannoli. Oh, boy.
It's better than what else I could be doing to the cannoli.
So, this show, yes, I think we should probably take this opportunity to talk
Anyway,
about some
Steph?
of the characters.
No, I haven't even given my thoughts. What the fuck, my dude?
You're talking about smoking cannolis and other stuff. You had your chance.
Who's the host here? Who's the host here?
Listen, Megan's
You
the
are.
birthday girl. Megan's the birthday girl, so don't fuck
All
with the
right.
birthday girl right
I'm
now.
gonna tell,
No, she,
I'm
all
gonna
right,
tell
she wants.
Jenny to
all
deny
right, she wants.
coitus.
I heard that, Megan.
Alright, so
Shit.
my thoughts
I
on
hope-
the show.
May your crops be eaten by rats.
Rude.
I'm sorry.
So
What you were
rude.
saying?
Oh! I've worked so hard tilling field for mother, and now you ask for rats to eat my field work!
Could insult everyone on this episode.
Oh,
What am I gonna tell? What am I gonna tell Comrade Putin about the rats who ate my wheat? He's gonna send me into space. I become cosmonaut.
I taste cosmos.
I taste cosmonaut. That's gonna be another episode on space I want to host, but
Oh shit. Anyway.
Tonight in Mother Russia, we talk about Asteroid in love. Not Putin's
Soviet-
favorite anime.
In
In Soviet
Russia.
Russia, Asteroid
loves
love
you.
you.
And that's how we lost the dinosaurs.
Oh shit.
So my thoughts on the show was, I have a really good friend of ours who's one of our patrons named Victor, who really, really likes this show and really likes this dub, and I had bought it, and I had meant to check it out earlier than I had. And I'm glad that I did, because this was kind of the thing I needed, in that I got a lot of entertainment out of a lot of the cast. I think that some of them, maybe, I wouldn't say this was maybe a career standout for them, but it is a lot of fun to hear them be these characters.
Yes.
And I think in one's case, it's nice to see her get to do a show like this, because I think a lot of directors don't take advantage of their range for this type of show.
Mm.
I thought the writing was really funny. I think that it never made any of the science stuff boring. And I think that it was approachable enough as a series, and frankly, I think the thing I like about this is that this is a dub that feels as comfortable as the show is.
Mm-hmm.
Are there points where if this was maybe a longer show, they could have put a little bit more dramatic stakes in stuff? Yeah, but for the most part, I think this is a good, like, comfy pick-me-up show.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you've watched something that was very tense or dramatic, like, or something that was just very dark, and you're like, I need something that's got color.
Yes.
This is the type of show you would watch, and I really do appreciate that Raleigh and Okatron handled this, because I think for a lot of people, they only associate their work with the big screamy, yelly men in tight spandex.
The big Kamehameha.
You know, that's just, yeah, that show. So I think that I like that this got to flex off their range, and considerably, I do like that Funimation has really started to bring them in to expand their dubbing potential and pool, because they've gotten to work on a mix of a lot of really cool shows.
Because they've done like Moriarty, they've done Listen to Me.
They did Soccer Wars, which I've been yelled at to check out because the dub of that is actually supposed to be really fucking good.
They've done, like, Funimation has expanded their studio outsourcing, and it's great.
Yeah, and also every time that they produce a Cute Girls Doing Cute Things show, you can always ask somebody to produce art of Vegeta hanging out with tiny moe girls, because Christopher Sabat produced this. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move... Oh, sorry?
I was wondering about Okatron being allowed to do this and do something that's kind of outside of what they've done in the past. Like, I was kind of wondering, do you think Funimation was hesitant to let other studios dub stuff for them?
No.
No?
No,
I mean,
pre-pandemic, yes.
Past,
post-pandemic.
Yeah, in the past, probably. But in a post-pandemic world, not really. Like they simply can't handle the workload now.
Yeah,
they basically let anybody but Studiopolis, Big Zoom, and
So you don't think that this was allowed because other studios had, proven themselves? You think that this was just a necessity?
I mean, this dub I think actually kicked off like right as the pandemic began.
Yeah,
so this
the pandemic
was
essentially forced
pre-pandemic.
Funimation to play catch up, but they couldn't do it in house, really. So,
but this one was actually
a winter
started
2020 show
before everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that this one was being worked on before, but post-pandemic, I think it's actually kind of a good thing that they've brought in other studios. They've worked with Kocha, they have a pretty... Kocha, Okatron, Sound Cadence, NYAV Pose.
Yes.
Studio Nano as well.
Studio Nano is the next, really big one that they've been doing.
Yes.
I think like I said, like I don't think they've worked with Bang Zoom yet, but
yeah,
not unless you count.
Okay. Now I'm not gonna like speculate on that here, but I do. I don't know. I mean, I've always heard there was like something going on with that, but like
whatever.
I don't know exactly.
Yeah. But from there, let's move into our first set of characters. Those being the characters who kind of come in towards the end to like add more characters. But again, if they had a second season, I think they'd be fleshed out.
Yeah.
They are the two newest members of the Earth Science Club, and the two girls that they meet, that Mira and Al meet at the Shining Star Challenge Camp, or as we're just going to call it, the Shiny Challenge.
Shiny.
Shiny Challenge Camp. The two new club members are Yu Nanami, who gets called Nana, a girl who joins the club for the sake of meteorology, because she doesn't want to see floods and climate change ruin people's houses again after seeing her aunt's house get destroyed in a flood. They are Chikage Sakurai. She is the younger sister of another character named Mikage Sakurai, and she gets called Chika. She is into geology and can do fortune tellings with quote-unquote power stones, and eventually starts getting into astronomy. There is Asuka Tomari, who I believe is Tomarin.
Mm-hmm.
And she essentially gets into the Shiny Challenge not because she's genuinely really interested in space stuff, but because she wants to meet an idol who's going to be at the Star Festival after it.
Yup.
And I don't know how the fuck she got in, but sure, whatever. I guess you're.
She's just an idol stan, it's fine.
I guess she gets in like how the girl who's really clumsy in Keijo gets into the fucking Keijo school.
Hey, the clumsy girl in Keijo had a legitimate power, okay? That ass is power, and no one can tell you otherwise. Jet knows what I'm talking about.
How did she get fucking nepotism, man?
It's not
and there is...
That's for another episode.
It's nepotism.
It's...
Anyway. And Shiho Makita, who I believe they call her Maki, who is another girl who is quote-unquote a people person.
Yes.
I love when people put that in their profile.
Self-described people person.
I'm a people person, and she wants to grow up to be a camp counselor. Like, a counselor. But she's there because she also loves this stuff. Playing Nana is Krista McGuire, playing Chika is Afia Yu, playing Tomarine is Tia Ballard, and playing Maki is Alexis Tipton. Krista McGuire has been characters such as Nami in Afterloss, Senko in The Helpful Fox Senko-san, and Senko-san. Senko-san. Senko-san! It's just Senko as a Sandshrew.
Honorifics are fun.
Fuck.
And Sidman in Neko Para, which I mention only to make Andrew cry when he hears this audio. Afia Yu has played characters such as Ryo Nakamura in Assassination Classroom, Yukari in Divine Gate, and Rita in Rage of Bahamut Genesis. Tia Ballard has played characters such as Shiraume in Bento, Sora in Escaflowne the Movie, and Elska in Carnival. Alexis Sipton has played characters such as Lotta Otis in Aka 13, Iris in Fire Force! And
I believe in you, you can do it.
Iori in Unbreakable Machine Doll.
Look, people, when Windows 11, launched and Megan had to get rebooted, it took some of the language out of her. So give her a minute, okay? She's still rebooting.
Shit.
But Noah, how could I reboot when nobody has been here to touch my on switch?
Well,
oh my god!
That's a good point. People, don't put off your restarts. If your system keeps saying, restart in 15, don't keep pushing the wait 4 hours button.
We're gonna have to send Patrick to reboot Megan, aren't we?
Yes. We're gonna have to wrap Megan up in bandages.
Ethical question. And I'm so sorry I'm so sorry, Jet, that you have to listen to this bullshit.
It's something I'm not used to at this point.
I was gonna say,
Jet's literally like, say different day, same shit.
Same.
Okay,
same
so
shit,
you
different
know
day.
how in Chobits that Cheese on Switch was in her hoo-ha?
Yeah.
Yes.
So technically, if Chi had ever been smart enough to use a vibrator or a dildo, would she have just been repeatedly turning herself on and off? Or do you think that she'd get stuck on the first time?
Okay, you know how you reset some computers, but it's got a really tiny hole, and so you have to get a paper clip or something to, make it work?
Are you saying that the dildo can't be the paperclip?
I'm saying you're thinking way too hard about this, and I don't know where I was going with this. That is
No,
nothing.
Now
Just
that's
like-
thinking with portals. Jet, please go ahead so that my bullshit will stop.
I want an image now. Like, if Jackson, if you're listening to this, I want an image of it's like.
He's not editing this visually, Steph is.
No,
I
but
am.
he's still gonna listen to this. So I want this for my own personal. I want the image from Groundhog's Day of. I'm blanking on name here. Bill Murray. Yeah, Bill Murray holding the microphone saying, "Well, it's Groundhog's Day again." But I want the head replaced with Jet's picture, and it's just gonna be, "Well, it's a Dub Talk episode with Lilac, Noah, and Megan again."
Again.
Jet knows this could have been Jet knows that this could have been worse. Gigi could have been here.
Oh.
No.
I love you, Gigi.
Yeah, give Jet that microphone. He deserves it now.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I will start with, Afia Yu as, Chikage. I liked her. I thought she sounded like probably the most subdued of the girls we see in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have to make her sound pretty distinct, which I appreciated. Yeah, she was a nice presence in the show. I thought the whole like obsession with power suits thing was like kind of interesting. And it was sort of interesting seeing how she's all like quiet and polite compared to her sister, who is very like stern. So I thought that was like an interesting contrast.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought she also contrasted pretty well with Nanami, who is like, you know, I say a little more on edge. So I thought that was handled pretty well. Speaking of Nanami, I found her introduction being pretty interesting because her whole deal is like, I don't want to say it is the most amount of conflict we see in the show, but it's probably the heaviest this show ever really gets with anything, where where she starts talking about why she's like so into meteorology because her family got like devastated by a flood, and and that was pretty interesting. And I thought that Kristen did a really good job of like getting across her anger and like powerlessness in that whole situation. And you can tell it's something that like Nanami is clearly very passionate about, and Kristen got that across really well.
It feels a little displaced, don't you think? Is that she's upset at this group of high schoolers for not being more interested in the weather and not, you know, the actual adults who are running the weather system who could have told people that there was going to be a flood coming.
I think she was more mad at the rest of them for not taking a more serious approach to their studies.
Right.
Because they could grow up to be people who could cause change.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that is fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but yeah, I thought that was handled pretty well, and we're also talking about the two girls from the Sparkle event, right?
Sparkle, yes. Sparkle.
Because you know darn well that in the entire world of Japan, there are only girls interested in this stuff. No boys. None at all. They just don't
There
exist.
were actually some guys at that
There were
camp.
some guys there, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there actually were some. Yeah, there actually were more men in this show than I was expecting. Like at least 5.
Really?
That is.
Like
at least
There's
5.
at least, you can count the amount of boys
That's
on the
still
show. in
more
one
men that has
hand.
ever. Okay, that is still more men that have ever existed, and a lot of other Dogo Kobo shows.
That is true.
except
Very
for Token
true.
Rabu Hanamaru.
New Game had
and
2.
and they put all of their boys in Token Rabu Hanamaru and Laughing Over the Clouds.
It's
That's
true.
where they all went. Clearly.
I was gonna say there's also more men in this than there ever has been in the Love Live franchise. So
Well, men don't exist in Love Live, right? I thought that was like a...
I don't think I'm pretty sure I have not seen like a single Love Live show.
Love Live, okay, Love Live is like a reversed Handmaiden's Tale, where it's all of the men who exist for the sake of like being stud horses, so they can make like the best little idol children.
Oh,
And there's
no.
only the illusion of fatherhood in that show. They say they have dads, but are they really there?
I gotta ask
Oh
this
my
question. Hold on. Hey,
God.
Jenny?
Oh no.
You've seen The Handmaid's Tale, right? Would you watch a reverse Handmaid's Tale, where instead of the women being oppressed, it's the men being oppressed? She's shaking her head, yes. All right, Hulu, get on producing that.
Oh lordy. Oh man.
No, why?
That's amazing.
I don't even know how that would go. I'm sorry.
Why would you do this?
I like how you're blaming Noah for this and not me who made the statement in the first place. As it is my...
You didn't have to roll with it.
See, it's my
Duck
birthday.
talk.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
Oh my god. Oh god.
Okay.
That's a layers.
Just like I need to keep going. Fuck man.
Okay, but getting back on track. Alexis Shiho was pretty fun. I thought it was pretty interesting that she was probably the most like talkative and like outgoing of the girls we see. And I did a pretty good job just coming off as like trying to be immediately friendly with everyone. And I thought it was like kind of interesting that like like the other character we're about to talk about, she wasn't really all that interested in like astronomy itself, but was apparently more interested in like being a counselor, something like that, and just wanted to like up her people skills. So that was interesting, and she does seem like she has good people skills. So like, good on her for making use of those. And then lastly, Tia and Asuka was a lot of fun. Interesting that she was basically there because she's a big Idol fan and just wanted to like see her favorite idol in person, so she somehow won a science contest.
You want to talk about nepotism? That sounds like some nepotism bullshit right there.
No, she just put in the work for silly reason.
That sounds like determination. Like
that's
you know
really...
what? I'm not even mad. That's like the I'm not even mad. I'm impressed levels of bullshit.
That's true. It's sad
true.
because we got one main character who didn't make the cut, who is obviously very passionate about it, and then you got someone who's passionate for completely different reasons who did make the cut.
Yeah.
Maybe they're graded on a curve.
Maybe.
But yeah, she was a lot of fun. Had like a lot of good energy. Tia's no stranger to this sort of character, and he made her sound like really wacky and fun. And it was like nice, seeing her like go on about her passion about her favorite idol and whatnot. That was like pretty funny. I liked all 40 performances. I mean, they didn't have like a whole ton to do, but they were all fun.
You can clearly tell they were introduced at the beginning of a new manga.
And a new volume.
A new volume of the manga, yeah.
Ah, yes, new manga.
Asteroid in Love 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I will say, like, the one thing that surprised me the most about the show is, like, how much time passes in, like, the span of 12 episodes, because we go from the
like
first
a year and a half.
We go from them, like, starting high school to being second years. I was like, oh, I was expecting them to actually cover that much material in 12 episodes.
No, yeah, it covered a lot.
But you got to cover all the holidays. You got to cover the Giving Chocolate Valentine's Day. You got to do the Christmas party. Yeah.
I was gonna say Asteroid in Love 2, Love Harder. Or Asteroid in Love 2, Asteroid Harder.
Oh my god. Lord almighty.
Noah, go ahead. I think, Jet, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Noah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have as much to add either because, now, to be fully fair to Kristen, to Tia, to Alexis, and to Apia, had these characters been introduced earlier in the show and we'd have more time to spend with them, obviously they would have been, I think, a little more integral. So, yeah, like I was saying, the introduction of these four characters in the final third of the show is clearly the result of an ongoing manga being adapted for an ongoing show, and clearly it didn't get to the end of the story, and we'll get to that when we talk about the final end of the show. But for just talking about performances for Alexis, Tia, Kristen, and Apia, well done performances for finite amount of lines that honestly I would have enjoyed seeing introduced a lot earlier. And I think the reason that to kind of tie into what Jet was saying about the way that they sound distinct from one another really helps out in this particular group. Apia in particular really sounds distinct from the other ones because Whereas the archetype of the more chipper, high-pitched, squealy girl voice is going to come up in a couple of these characters. Afia does not sound like that. She's got what I called soft energy to her, and but it doesn't mean that she's like timid. She's not Nagato Yuki. She's like very opinionated, and I really like her explanation in one of the final episodes about what the benefits of geology is, about how it helps extract minerals that we use and helps detect earthquakes. And it's like, that's kind of nice to have a character put into words the benefit of what they're studying. It's not just otaku being interested in a topic that they're interested in. It's got a real scientific benefit to it, and it's worth knowing more about, even if you're not going to go into it as a career.
Right.
Yeah. So, and also I like that. One more thing that we're going to talk about is that a lot of characters have siblings, and we're going to talk about quite a few siblings here, Chikage being one of them, but she doesn't sound like her older sister. She's got a very distinct voice, not just in the way she speaks, but also the pitch she's got. So even though her character design looks pretty similar, and of course they've got the same colored hair, Afia gives her a very different sound from her older sister character, who we'll talk about in a bit. Kristen does not have a sister. I'm sorry, no. Nana does not have a sister. I don't know if Kristen has a sister or not. But yeah, her introduction, like Jet was saying, about having a very serious and kind of dark history with meteorology, felt like something that maybe this should have been introduced a little bit earlier in the show. And again, I know it's only in this episode because she was written into the manga at this point and they're adapting it in chronological order. But yeah, that's a little heavier than what we've been talking about before. It's not just dreams and wishes and moving into your best friend's house because your dad moved away. It's, you know, it's getting into some really serious topics that affect the livelihoods of people who are in high-risk areas, especially for flooding. So the way that Kristen voices her makes her likable while still being serious. I think it could have been really easy for Nana to be directed to be like more stern and unlikable, you know, that kind of person who's like saying, you got to check out this website, it's got the latest conspiracy theory, the moon landing was faked, we've been on Mars since the 1960s. But Kristen doesn't go that route. She goes the no nonsense persona while still being interested in being friends with everybody. Now, as far as like actually talking about the last two, Megan brought up an interesting point before we started recording. Tomori and Makita have more lines technically than the previous two characters that we were talking about, so they definitely bear talking about, and it's a shame that they're only introduced in the last two episodes because they're clearly, I'm going to assume that they're more integral to future volumes of the manga, which is ongoing as we speak, hasn't even been finished yet. So not to say that this will get a sequel, because I feel like this is pretty self-contained. I don't think this is really conducive to a franchise.
Yeah,
but
I feel like the likelihood of it getting a sequel anime is slim to none, honestly.
Yeah, it's very much a
very
one-and-done thing.
few Dogo Kobo shows actually get like a sequel. I think only a couple of them have.
Yeah, New Game
got one.
New Game, it's a new game. Token Rambu's got a sequel and a movie coming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Wataten has a movie coming for some god-awful reason.
I'm just going to keep on ignoring that as hard as I can.
Yep,
You're a
just
good
like how
man.
we keep ignoring Hitalia exists.
Aw, I liked Italia.
AJ from Kirchman Cypher is gonna yell at me at Anime NYC because I kept reminding him that it existed.
Whoops.
He's like, Megan, stop! And I'm like, you can yell at me at Anime NYC.
You can yell at her in real time. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna wear like, you know, like the dog shaming. That's gonna be my shaming.
Yes. Oh lordy.
You seem like you enjoy it. Like you're just waiting for it to happen.
Kicks in the door. Did you know that they dubbed the new Italia series in like 3 weeks? Anyway.
There's gotta be an Onion article written about you.
I am a walking Onion article.
No.
Oh shit.
Just it's gonna be local anime fan loves to ruin conversations by reminding people, did you know there's a new Hitalia project coming out?
Oh no, I wouldn't be a fucking Onion article, I'd be an Anime Maru article.
There you go. Yes, I forgot the name of the Onion anime.
I was like,
site.
Onions, yeah, Onion is just regular news. Hard Drive Mag is gaming ones, and Anime Maru's the anime one. To which my favorite hard drive mag one ever is Speedrunner doesn't consider girlfriend's tool assisted speed run legal.
Oh my god.
Which is a very layered joke anyway.
It sounds like it, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about two characters that, like we were saying, introduced near the end of the show in the last 2 episodes, clearly important to further developments in the story. So, but how do Tia and Alexis do in the show itself? And the answer is, it's Tia Ballard and Alexis Tipton. These guys are professionals. If they did not do a standout job, I would be honestly surprised and be asking, what's going on? So any praise that, Jet already praised on Tia and Alexis for portraying flighty, idol-obsessed girl who honestly can't keep up with the science, and nerdy people person girl who can actually match Mira's responses like in unison, stereo. Very well done.
Surround sound.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were like integral to the end of the show, but in what the studio wanted to do, what Dobakobo wanted to do, and just adapting the chapters of the manga as they were coming out instead of writing an anime original ending to this, perfectly fine. We got 2 perfectly fine moe characters who, again, I'm sure are fan favorites and get expanded upon more in the manga. So that's what I got.
Awesome, Steph.
I don't have a lot to add. So I have 0 notes on Alexis and Tia.
You blasphemer!
I'm sorry. I mean, this was also kind of around the same time, because I watched the last 2 episodes before recording this. Around the same time where I was folding laundry and I accidentally spilled some water all over everything. And I had to clean it up, so I kind of got distracted. Anyway.
Now you're making me think of that first episode again where Mira, messes up her outfit and she's like, I made it worse.
Yup. Oh,
Suzu being like, I can't take you fucking anywhere.
Sounds accurate. No, I enjoy Tia and Alexis. There are a couple of fun little extra additions to the cast towards the end of the show. I just wish they got to do more in the show. But Tia's idol craziness is cute and adorable. Alexis is fun. She's a calming energy. Kind of this calm, almost mature energy. Probably one of the most mature characters of the cast, honestly. And she's very, very enjoyable. Kristen and Afia. So, okay. So, Afia is very calming and also very adorable as a little sister. It's a different sounding voice for a little sister character, all things considered. And especially considered who voices the older sister, who we'll get to in a little while. It's a very interesting contrast, but also, I guess, it kind of falls into a similar vocal area of sorts, compared to the rest of the cast, who's all like moe kyun kind of deal.
That's a reference from the old days.
Back in my day, the moe girls went moe cute.
That's a fucking deep cut, I'll tell you. No, but Afia's fun. I love it. It's very cute, very adorable. Kristen seems to have, and you guys have brought it up already, a more mature outlook in her desire for, like, knowledge and science in particular, because of what we learn very early on about her aunt losing everything in a flood, and she wants to be able to help others, help others in terms of, like, warning or being more prepared by understanding, the weather and learning about meteorology.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a very, very noble aspiration.
Especially at that age.
Especially at that age, first year in high school, absolutely. So Kristen portraying that is just, it's very nice, and I love it so much. But I also really love that over time, Kristen gets to kind of lighten up a little bit too. She has a little bit more fun being in the club and all that fun stuff, all this great things, including making those when Mira and Ao go to shiny time, and the weather isn't clear enough for them to try and observe space objects to try and see if they could find asteroids while they were there, Nana's idea was to create those little rain dolls that they had made before. To try
The Terabozu.
Thank you, the Terabozu. To try and have more clear weather for them to be able to try and see an asteroid. So Kristen gets to I guess for lack of better phrasing, ease up on the seriousness and the tension that Nana has, and it makes for a fun little dynamic performance. So yeah, all 4 of these, I wish I had more to do, but for what we have and what it's worth, I think it worked very well.
It's like the show reminded her, you're not in magnitude 9.5, you're in a Doga Kobo show. Lighten the heck up a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Accurate.
So I'll start with Kristen as Nana. I really liked it because I think it was a little bit more mature of a character that Kristen has played with a little bit of a deeper voice, and I genuinely like that. It does remind me a little bit of her performance as the turtle girl in My Hero Academia.
Turtle? Yeah. Oh, it took me a second.
The girl
turtle girl?
Yeah, the girl whose ability is literally moving her neck like a turtle.
Basically.
So I really like that. I do wish that the character was around more just to give a little bit more dramatic tension in the show. Afia as Chica, I really like Afia in a lot of things. So I think that she did a good job here. Again, wish she did a little bit more. But I really like her energy when she and Nana are in the back of the car talking about things, and about how, like, sometimes you have to go through bad stuff for the good to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I like when she talks about how Nana needs to chill out a little bit.
Yeah, because Nana
gives her the stone because Nana's overthinking a lot and stressing herself out. And when she did, it made her feel better. And then they saw the big double rainbow.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry.
Not
the big
double.
Rainbow curve in the sky, and Nana freaks out. And I really like how genuine Kristen sounds in that scene, because that is kind of Nana's big moment in the whole show.
Yeah.
And then Alexis and Tia are a lot of fun. It took me a minute to figure out that was Tia and Alexis. I had to look at the credits. They have kind of some memorable moments, but they aren't as memorable as everybody else's. And I think their arc gave me kind of Diet, A Place Further Than the Universe vibes. Please, somebody fucking dub it.
This whole show's kind of got that vibe.
Andrew.
Yeah, this is very much Diet, A Place Further Than the Universe. But I really liked all these girls. I like that they did sound distinct enough from each other that you wouldn't have confused them with somebody else already in the cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, good job all around. So let's move into our next set of characters who are not part of the Earth Sciences Club, but are part of their upstairs neighbors, the Newspaper Club.
The bungee jumping newspaper club.
Which includes the more calm, cool, and collected Ayana Usumi, and our favorite little pigtailed skydiver, Sayuri Ibe. Playing Usumi is Dawn Bennett, and playing Ibe is Sarah Wiedenheft. Dawn Bennett, you'll know his characters such as Mino Asagaya in Anime Gatsuris, Chiaki Yokoshi in First Love Monster, and Hei in Konkole. Sarah Wiedenheft, you'll know his characters such as Sana in Alice in Zoroku, Sue in Conception, and Alina Fujisawa in Hanabado. So, Steph, kick us off.
Oh boy. So let's see. Do I not have notes for Dawn? That sucks.
I mean, she doesn't have too many memorable
Too
lines.
much,
She
yeah.
is the calming agent to Eve.
Sarah's gremlin child.
Yeah.
She's her handler.
Yeah, she's her handler. Especially considering Eve likes...
Eve, please don't jump off the roof again.
Eve, don't jump off the roof. Eve, we're not gonna write an article about this again, okay? Stop. Like, Eve wants
Eve,
to do...
we don't have the money.
Eve, we don't have the money. Eve, we're gonna get in trouble if you try doing this as blackmail. Just stop. Because she tries to blackmail the Earth Sciences Club a couple times. It's like, what?
It's the cutest way to make friends with people. I'm gonna blackmail you. But can we be friends?
And so is bungee jumping off of the roof of a building, but you know. but you don't see me fucking doing it. No, Dawn is a fun, mature energy, just trying to keep the peace, keep the calm, as Usumi, and I really, really enjoy that. She does a very good job at balancing out and handling Sarah's gremlin energy. Because Eve is just pure gremlin at times, and it's insane. She's just little energetic gremlin child, just like kind of like a ha ha ha.
Oh,
I got this. I'm gonna use it against you. Ha ha ha. Like, she does the thing with the hands on her hips. It's like, like
She's attempting to be TMZ and failing so very hard at it.
yes!
That's hard to do. Sometimes TMZ fails at being TMZ.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, you right. No, I enjoy the energy that Sarah brings, and it's just, oh my god. I think, and the two of them just magically appear at times, like, as part of the group, even though they're not officially a part of the club. Like, it's very amusing. It's like, hey, at the end, for instance, hey, we want to do an article about your time at the shiny thingy. Can interview? Yes, please. It's very cute and adorable, and I like it very, very much. No, both of them are a lot of fun. I don't exactly have a lot to say from them now, though.
Yeah, they're a nice odd couple. They're like you were saying, that they don't have to be part of the main club in order to be relevant. It's kind of nice to flesh out a show, and especially a school, by showing multiple clubs. Like, I like the episode where we see the baseball club. One, because we actually get a couple of males in there, so it's like, oh, so this isn't just
part of the 5 male characters. I mean, count on one hand.
Which does play into Megan's theory that this is just a show where the men only exist to do what the women want. Because what are they?
No.
They're just there to pull the rock, drop it, and pull their big pipe out of the ground. That's all that they're there for.
Me strong man, hear me roar.
Just swing that giant pipe around like the women want. That's all that they're there for.
Oh, sweet lord.
Yeah.
Lie.
Yeah, so, Dawn and Sarah, again, classic actors who have not turned in a bad performance in anything. I am a little mad at you, Megan, though, that of all of Dawn's performances you could have picked anything. You narrowed it down to First Love Monster of all thing, a show that
I found whatever. I just picked 3 names off the wiki.
Only a few people even remember that show. And 2, the person in this call, me, who does remember that show, doesn't remember it for anything good.
I'm sorry that I did not put a better Dawn Bennett role in there. I might have done that on purpose to make you cry.
I forgive you. It did make me cry. I'm just saying.
You made him cry on the inside. You slowly.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm hearing outside tears over there.
What you're doing is you're standing outside my window with your face pressed against the glass and a t-shirt that says "Sickos" on it.
Yes! Yes! As I hold Shinya in my arms because she has come over and headbutt me.
You just hold her and just pet her like, yes.
Yes.
Like fucking, God, what's his name?
Dr. Evil.
No, Inspector Gadget. Fuck's his name?
Dr. Claw?
Thank you. Dr. Claw. Like, yes, I'll get you, Noah.
Next time, I'll get you, Noah.
Next time, Noah Clue.
Does that mean I get to be made out of gears and robot parts? Sweet.
Why the fuck not, right?
So I'm sorry, I want to swing back around to how they actually performed in here.
I will not make a bad joke about Inspector Gadget. I will not make a sex joke about Inspector Gadget.
Please don't!
Okay, so moving on to talking about the other 2 characters. Okay. Kind of like Stephanie, I actually didn't have that many lines written down for Dawn. What I wrote was that, she's a nice reserved counter to Sarah's voice, but still really perky too, because it's not like she's mellow and laid back. She's still very happy. Like, all the characters in the show have like a zest for life, an enjoyment of the club that they are a part of, which is refreshing, because the one thing that kind of defines the moe genre as a negative is passivity. A lot of shows have very passive characters who are just kind of coasting through the experience and living off of the sipping tea and doing nothing all day. I point to something like Adventures of the Going Home Club or A Channel, and shows where like not a whole lot really happens. But then you get positive shows like this where that cutesiness is enhanced by their desire to actually get stuff done. And the newspaper club here, both Dawn and Sarah, convey that very well because they go to extremes to get the story. They use their connections to help their friends out. So seeing Dawn being really happy in her role, even as she's wielding in her monster child, is incredibly satisfying. And it's a nice contrast to what we
child
normally get. It is what she is, and I mean that with the utmost respect because this is classic flavor Sarah Wiedenheft. This is Sana in Alice in Zeroku. It's that. And I know that, and I'm gonna call out anyone who's listening to this who maybe has a problem with actors using the same voice to the point that they may be recognizable in other shows. Yes, we recognize that it's Sarah Wiedenheft most of the time she's performing her voice. It's using this particular voice. That's not a bad thing, people. It's a great archetype, and she's an amazing performer that absolutely matches the energy that you try going to the recording booth and being this fun and perky all the time. You can't do it. Only Sarah can bring that, and other actors who are in this cast as well. So I'm just going to say that for the bit parts that both Usumi and eBay have in the show, they're a welcome addition to the cast of science nerds in this, and not a problem at all.
Nerds!
I was gonna say, when you said Sarah Wiedenheft playing a gremlin, I just thought of her character in Komodo Friends, the prairie dog.
Oh, yeah.
And specifically in the bloopers, where she just pops out of the hole and just yells, "Is this to your liking, Madam Buttsniff?"
Yup.
In her very Sarah Wiedenheft voice. Jet, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't have a whole ton to say about Dawn, since he's just kind of, there to be the voice of reason for Sarah as the chaotic gremlin, but, I thought they did a pretty good job of Ayato. She sounded very... she sounded very nice, like she had a good head on her shoulders, and you could tell that, she wanted to make sure that the newspaper club always, does the right thing and isn't, out, like, blackmailing people or, like, causing scandals or whatever, so... So she has a good head on her shoulders. Hopefully she can, hopefully, she can get a good job of reporting with, maybe someone a little less crazy. But speaking of crazy, Sarah
Speaking of crazy, nice segue.
Sarah Wiedenheft's area is a lot of fun, just like this. Okay, I mean, the second she, like, ninjas her way onto the screen, I knew this character was going to be a lot of fun, and she just exudes this perfect chaotic gremlin energy. And I mean, Sarah's always been good at this sort of thing. She does, like, gremlin child characters really well. But, like, and true enough, she, like, does that really well here. This character is a lot of fun. Whether it's all her attempts to, like, badly blackmail the club, or trying to be supportive in like a really obnoxious way. So, and she's a lot of fun, and there's basically never a dull moment when this character is on screen. So I thought Sarah was a lot of fun, and yeah, I don't think I can really add too much to this that hasn't already been said, but I like both of these.
Sweet.
Yeah, my turn. Again, I like both of these performances. I think that they complement each other very well, which is very good when you have characters like this. When you have a high energy, low energy character. I think their voices, Dawn and Sarah's voices, very much complement each other. I think Dawn's character did blend in a little bit to the background as a performance, just because it is so very calming. Mm-hmm. And it's not as distinct because we don't get to know Utsumi as a character very well, though she does have a very big standout moment where she starts to get Sakurai to lighten up.
Yes. By
bringing over the baseball club to help them out with the boring and things. And Sarah Wiedenheft as eBay is just a ton of fun. She's always upbeat and energetic, and she steals the scenes that she's in, like during Christmas where they scold them for throwing out the breaker.
I love
Yeah.
that costume.
She's in the little reindeer outfit and she rocks it, and I thought I gotta agree with everybody that they did a great job, and I don't have really much more to say. So moving on from them, we have two connections to the club, but they are not members. They are Misa Konohata and Moe Suzuya, aka Suzu.
Oh boy.
Misa is Mira's older sister, who's the student council president, who seems kind of more distant and aloof, but she's as goofy as her sister can be sometimes, evidenced by her taking all of her stuff out of the student council room. But she's always kind of
in your clubs, in your club room.
Yeah, what do they do? What do you guys do at the student council? But she's kind of the voice of reason for everything and everyone, and kind of is the adult in the room, even more than the actual adult there.
Yeah.
And Suzuya is Mira's other childhood friend, whose family owns a bakery where she is the mascot Moe. She's obsessed with baking and wants to make her family's bakery an international chain. She is also a giant unhinged lesbian. Like, there is no subtext, only text.
There's no subtext, just Suzu.
With some of the other characters and potential parents we'll be talking about later, like, I was a little annoyed that it was like maybe a little more subtextual than I thought it should have been, but like with her, like, no, there is no subtext. This character is extremely like what you see is what you get.
No subtext.
Yeah,
only Suzu.
like at one point when Al gets sick, she gives them lesbian pickup lines.
Yes.
The best lesbian pickup lines, we might add.
And it's also pretty much she was in love with Misa and got rejected.
Yep.
Which is why she cuts her hair.
Yep.
She also has a younger sister who we're not talking about, named Megu, who is much taller than her and is a little bit more handsome. Insert the
Cross-dress them into a butler.
Insert the regular show everybody thinks you're the big brother clip.
Oh, thank you, regular show.
The best use of that I've ever seen is when
the video game companies.
They did that whole scene, but with Persona and Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, beautiful.
And what's worse is that everyone thinks you're the big brother, and I just love all the people who are like, why isn't this like Persona? And I'm just like, you dumb motherfuckers.
That's amazing.
You know what's also gay? Shin Megami Tensei 5. Which will be out by now. By the time
this goes up.
I'm so glad Casey gets a star in that.
Yes, I'm actually picking up the game just for the dubcast.
But I thought the Japanese didn't have any game material. I thought they weren't woke enough for that.
Oh my god.
I mean, hey, Hashino's not working on it, so like.
Yeah, this is a Shin Megami Tensei game. This isn't Persona where they have to hide it.
Shit.
They can say fuck in this game and be gay. Eat your heart out, P5.
Jesus.
Playing Suzu is Madeline Morris, and playing Misa is Danny Chambers. Madeline Morris, you'll know as characters such as Midori in the After School Dice Club, Inka Kasugutani in Fire Force, and Hotada Hoshikawa in New Game. Danny Chambers, you'll know as characters such as Hinasato in Day I Became a God, Fi in Endro, and Sara Garando in Island. I'll start this off.
Yep.
So, I actually could not tell that was Danny Chambers.
Surprise, bitch!
Honestly, like, I literally did not know that was Danny until just now. So, I am also surprised.
Yeah, because it sounds nothing like her. It's so much deeper and more mature than I think a lot of us are used to her being, or it doesn't have as much of that youthful tone. Even Chise, who's the big character, I think she's known as, I would say that Danny is very much known as I would say probably Chise,
In Ancient Magus Bride.
Iris. Yeah, Chise and Magus Bride. Iris in the Ace Attorney anime dub that Funimation did. And Fi is still one of my personal favorites of hers.
Which I do.
But this
I do think more people need to see that, because I was glad you recommended that show when we did it last year, because I hadn't heard very many people talking about Endro.
Was Endro last year?
I think it was. It was
Lord.
last year for your birthday, wasn't it?
I swear to God it was something else, but
It's been a long
Was it?
year.
me still trying to process 2020.
Accurate.
Me still trying to process 2019, I apologize. Legitimately, I am now checking.
And let's check your answer. The answer is, what is I am the Spice Meme Lord?
Fuck. Oh,
Well, no,
Lord.
because we did Fire Force last. We recorded Fire Force in 2019 because I remember coming back from. No, it was 2019.
Okay.
It was 2019 because remember we made a joke. I don't think I did a birthday episode last year.
I'm sorry. 2019 was a long decade.
Did we not? No, no. Fuck. What the? Oh my God, we had to have done something for my birthday. Like, no, because we did Sakuruso. We didn't do it for. No, it was After Song Connection was my birthday one last year.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, it was.
It was After Song Connections.
I can never keep track of shit I've done anymore.
What you've done, I think I've done at least 100 episodes. I think I've done the most episodes out of all of us, so forgive me if I don't remember anything.
No, that's true.
I might fight you on that.
We need to get like a dedicated wiki team to keep track of all the episodes.
I think we've actually, that's what I'll make in. I think I might just have Patrick do that for us. Anyway, so I'll start off. So yeah, I was already talking anyway. So yeah, this is Danny. This is not a Danny voice that I'm used to, and I like that she is very much a more dry humored character and a dry delivery. She is very much the low key to her sister's high key. But she's also the low key to Suzu's high key.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's face it, Madeline Morris as Suzu might be the best performance in the show. She is.
I'm not gonna fight you on that because yes.
She is definitely by far one of the more energetic and funny performances, and definitely I think she might be the most memorable performance.
Oh, yes.
Because of how much Suzu gets to chew the scenery.
Yes.
Like, obviously there are times when Suzu is being genuine, like when she confesses to Mira. To Misa, not Mira. But you also have these very hilarious moments of, like, where I think one of my favorite moments with him is they're on the train back from the beach, and they kind of have this moment where Suzu was very jealous of Ao because Ao was becoming Mira's new best friend, and they kind of have it out, and they're talking in the train, and then
it was a very one-sided competition, basically.
Ao is basically like, I have no idea what's happening. But I think the thing is that then they find out that their senpais are at the pool and they get a picture, and Madeline's delivery of Suzu being your bestie, I need you to send me these pictures. and Mira's actress's delivery of like, we really need to have a definition of what you consider besties. But she also has this very like sly kind of delivery to some things, like where she's teasing Sakurai about making the chocolates, and wow, if you just lighten up sometimes, maybe people would like you more.
Yeah.
I particularly like her, like the part where she's dressed up for their Geo Cafe for the school festival, and she says like, I've got an ulterior motive. You see, the ¡1 suite gets like top prize or something,
and then she got second place,
and she gets
the look of the dead. I love it. I've gotten past that. I'm fine.
This is fine.
Like, the dead look at her face.
She's just gung-ho about marketing shit. It's great.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. But
again,
I think that's what I really like about Madeline's performance, is that she is very much so energetic and so upbeat and makes this performance, like, she very much wears that this girl is gay on her sleeve in her performance. But the thing is, though, I like that it never goes very stereotypical for what I think. And let's be real, a lot of anime dubs, especially in the past, have gone for definitely very cheap accents and speaking terminology for LGBTQA characters. And I like that Madeline just makes Suzu sound like an hyper 15-year-old.
Yeah.
But it's a very genuine hyper 15-year-old.
See, I'm used to there being like a speech affectation for gay men in anime dubs, not so much for gay women. I'm sorry, I don't.
I was gonna say potentially. I don't think they as much get like the stereotypical butch voice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's.
I'm good. So whoever wants to go next.
I'll go ahead. I'll bounce off of that because the thing that did concern me just a little bit about the character of Suzu was that she would be not a stereotypical lesbian in the voice
but
sense.
predatory.
Yeah, predatory is what I was worried about. Yes, about her being very territorial or like crossing boundaries, like, you know, maybe sneaking into someone's room without their permission or stealing photos of them undressing or something like that. But she doesn't get that way. Like she gets like she tries to steal out in a funny way when she finds out that she's potentially going to be moving away. She like lifts her up and she comes up with this scheme about, all right, we will be we'll borrow her.
We'll elope.
We'll elope. Yes.
Yes, we will elope.
and then she's the one with the idea of doing the
Yes, her idea is to fuck. That is absolutely her
no
long-term plan.
the sharing of the wife kind of thing.
Which again, like you know that's played up for a joke, but at the same time it's more like, okay, but maybe this could happen. Like I wouldn't be mad if it did happen.
I wouldn't be mad either. It would have been funny.
It is. So I think Jet, you have seen this, but Stephanie and Lilac, have you guys seen How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift?
You know that's two of the same person, right? You said
they're both Madeline characters.
No. He said Stephanie and Lilac.
Yes.
I was like, wait, hold on.
Let me say that line again. No, actually, I'm not going to say it again. Keep that in the recording. So
Fuck
Stephanie
it, we'll
and
do
Lilac,
it live.
both have seen. Okay, Megan and Stephanie, have either of you seen How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift? Okay, because
I've seen clips.
Okay, well, so you know that that's another Madeline Morris role. She plays the lead character of Hibiki, and it is very much this energy. Only every other line as opposed to just a couple of lines. So if you like her in this, go check out that. She's not a lesbian. She's a thirsty straight teenager in that one, but it's still the same energy.
Gotcha.
So yeah, no complaints about there. She's got some of the best lines. To contrast, though, with the character who she has a crush on, which makes sense because opposites attract, she is attracted to not hyperactive lesbian girl. She is attracted to student council president older sister character, and that is why I think Danny Chambers gave Misa Konohata a very, laid back, more dry delivery to her character, was particularly to contrast this. Also, because, and this goes back to the siblings thing we were talking about before, Misa is the big sister of the main character, who we'll talk about in 2.5 sections, and she does not attempt to sound like an older version of that character, which is refreshing because that could have easily been like a cheap gimmick where you've got actors who are trying to mimic the voice style of the character who is their sibling in this. So, and this is also, like you were saying, Megan, this is a Danny Chambers way of acting that I had not heard before, and I like to see actors stretch their chops to use voices that we hadn't heard before. This doesn't sound like Chisei or Fei Fei.
Bye.
That one too. So I'm really glad that we get a chance to hear her do this. And I think she was in the show just enough. Like, she didn't overpower it. She wasn't overly involved in the character's actions. She was in it just enough to be the good adult, even though we had an adult already in the cast. So that's what I got.
Jack?
So yeah, I guess I'll start with Danny first, because I was honestly pretty surprised this was Danny as Misa. I mean, I mean, I've gotten pretty used to her doing like doing a lot of like cutesy characters and stuff, and of course she says so. So that tone of voice is what I'm pretty used to with Danny, but this is like, and this is pretty different. It's a little more like mature sounding and a little and like even more reserved than Chisei in a sense. So like that was interesting. And yeah, she does a pretty good job of sounding like probably the most level-headed out of all these girls, especially compared to her very energetic sister. And I think that's like I think that's a really interesting contrast. And she also bounces off pretty well with Suzu, and I thought her dynamic was that was pretty fun. Where I mean, she wasn't like totally oblivious to Suzu's obvious surge, but was like playing it off pretty well, and I thought their whole thing was pretty fun. And I also thought it was pretty. I also thought it was pretty nice when like she helped to intervene when there was a whole minor conflict of Ao potentially moving away, and she like volunteered to give up her room. I thought that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot that was her involvement.
Yeah.
That's some major big sister energy.
She was like, "You're just a kid. You just be a kid, throw a tantrum. It's fine."
Yeah.
Where a kid can be a kid.
God damn it.
Yeah, and then Madeline Morris and Suzu is like if not the best performance in the dub, it is definitely like the most fun. She's just chewing the scenery the entire time, like exuding a whole ton of fun. Like when the character introduces herself with like the most amount of thirst of all the characters in the show, and like literally like handing someone bread that's like shaped like panties. It's like, okay, you can tell this character is gonna be a lot of fun.
She's just doing her best.
It's amazingly they use that joke more than once, would surprise me, but
hey, it worked.
She's a lot of fun. She bounces off a lot of the other characters really well. Whether it's Mira or Ao, she's just clearly having fun. She's just clearly having fun with a lot of the other characters, and while she does have a lot of obvious thirsts, it's never to the point where the character comes off as like too aggressive, which is definitely a very negative stereotype they could have like easily leaned into. So I'm glad. I'm glad I didn't go that far with that. And of course, whenever the character like needs to be serious for a second, Madeline can like dial it down for a sec. Like when she was trying, like when there was a whole conflict about Misa getting ready to move away and her needing to like confess her feelings. And I thought that Madeline did a really good job of handling that. And I thought the whole like getting a haircut thing was like pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, there really isn't much more to be said. Like Madeline, like really stole the show here, and I also enjoyed Danny a lot. So these two were great, especially Madeline.
Steph?
Yeah, there's not a lot to add. So I find it interesting that basically everybody in the group is like, I've never heard Danny Chambers do a big girl voice like this before. I have.
Oh boy. Well, aren't you so special?
Yeah. Y'all, have you seen, Our Last Crusade?
Oh, no.
Shut up, I have to do an episode on that.
I have seen Our Last Crusade, but I don't remember what character she plays in that.
She is the glasses wearing, like, supervisor for, the
Okay, in my defense, it's been like a fucking year.
Yes. It's been a long-ass year. But, no, yeah. The point, though, but I'm trying to make is Danny doesn't play big girl characters very often, and I like it. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it, because we're so used to Danny playing, like, the cutesy girls, the the high-pitched characters. Chise is kind of in the middle ground, in terms of her range, and the kinds of characters she typically plays. But, no, Misa is just a fun character. It's not the typical cutesy, and it's more mature, which works very well. Grant, it's probably one of the most mature characters that Danny's ever played, including Our Last Crusade, because the character she plays on that one is just a fucking troll sometimes. And it's very amusing when that happens. Sassy troll. But, anyway. But, no, older sister Misa is a lot of fun. But no, I really like Danny as the older sister. It's very mature, very sensible. She's the one with such a level head. But is it safe to say, or fair to say, that Misa has a little bit of a sister complex? Just a tiny bit?
No, I don't think so.
By anime standards, though.
No.
Well, I mean, she just really loves and cares about what Mira does. Like, Mira gives her...
I think she's just, like, she may be a little bit, but nothing to the level of, like, I don't know, Nakaimo, Platinum Man.
This is not Citrus.
Not that level. She made a goddamn shrine for a rock that Mira gave her.
Well, that's not...
But it had a fucking smiley face on
She
it!
made a shrine for a rock.
Look, okay, not all okay, I know that media has poisoned us to think that siblings can't get along until they're in their 50s, but some siblings do care about one another, and they are legitimately...
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
Misa put together that shrine pretty fucking fast.
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, the shrine was just like a cute little thing. It honestly didn't strike me though, like sister complex.
It's.
I mean, like,
Yeah, I'll agree with Jeff.
There's making a shrine and putting a happy face rock in it, and then there's having a shrine with your sister's frozen body in it.
There you go. We haven't crossed that line yet.
Fair.
No, but Platinum Men did.
Oh, great.
There is giving your sister lesbian lover your spare bedroom, and that's where we're at right now.
Oh, Lord.
I mean...
Subtext, of course.
Chat, you know what I have stuck in my head? Know what someone needs to do now for Platinum End?
Oh, no.
You know the guy that has his sister in the thing of ice?
No.
Jet.
Yes.
Someone needs to put Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze lines over him.
I mean, that sounds like a joke, but this is also the character who wears the Super Sentai costume, so...
I'm just gonna take your word for it.
Iced! What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
You know what else? You know what other actor wore a Sentai costume? Arnold Schwarzenegger in that classic Christmas movie, Jingle All the Way.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my god, get out of my house.
You know, Christmas is coming up, Megan. Really soon. You should get out the lights and the candy canes and the garland and all that good
Listen,
stuff.
for some people, Christmas started right after Halloween, so...
Don't let Mariah have power.
I don't have control over her. She does her own shit, alright?
Anyway, are we good to move on to the next section?
No! No!
Then go on!
I'm trying! I haven't even talked about the greatest disaster lesbian yet! I didn't get to talk about Suzu yet, you fuckers. God!
That's a great phrase, disaster lesbian. I want you to keep using it.
It's great, because that describes Suzu to a T, essentially. She's a disaster lesbian. No, Madeline Morris's Suzu is such a delight. She steals... Oh no, shit. She steals every scene that she's in with just this fun, upbeat energy to her, but also a lot of the crazy, like, tendencies of, like, oh, it's like, oh, you're gonna send me those pictures, right? Yeah, that's great, awesome, I love it. Like, things like that. It's so cute and adorable, and I love Madeline Morris for it. But yeah, Suzu does have her a little bit more serious moments too, especially I know part of it was for the lulz, where she lost the sweetest treat thing during the cultural festival. But she kind of had a moment afterwards where she was kind of reflecting on it and what she wants to do, and it was a little bit serious for at least a hot minute, and it's... Suzu kind of, for the majority of it, ends up as the comic relief character to an extent. But how Madeline portrays it is just a lot of fun, a lot of energy, and it's honestly one of my favorite performances of the whole show, to be completely honest. So, yeah, both Madeline and Danny did great here. Now I'm done.
Okay, cool. I left the cat out. So, let's move on to our next set of characters, who are our beloved senpai in the club. Because no club is ever allowed to exist without a tearful goodbye from the senpai.
Except school
They
life.
are Mari... What?
I was gonna say, except school life, because the school's closing down at the beginning of that show.
They are Mari Morino, aka Monroe, and Mikage Sakurai, aka Sakura. Monroe is the head of the astrology side of the club at first, these two get combined at the beginning of the show, and neither of them really want to do it, well, Sakura doesn't want to, and Monroe kind of says, well, I don't like you. But eventually, by the end, they both realize that this has made them better people and closer friends. Monroe getting her nickname because, well, she's got big titties and a mole like Marilyn Monroe.
Yep.
Yes, yeah, I could generally say I was not expecting a Marilyn Monroe reference from this show.
Just like, it's like, you have big titties. And Sakurai, Sakurai. Anyway, playing Monroe is Natalie Rose, and playing Sakura is Terry Doty. Natalie Rose knows characters such as Ulti, Ariel, and Black Arrow, Tsukino and Show by Rock, and Nemesis and Luck and Logic. Terry Doty will know his characters such as Takao and Azur Lane, Hiyoko Machi in Interview with Monster Girls, and Alice Kiriki in Okami-san and Her Seven Companions. Steph, do you want to go first?
Sure, why not? I like these two performances a lot. They're really fun senpai, like, older classmate kind of role, and you have the president and vice president of the club. But they also have a fun vocal dynamic. It's Natalie Rose and Terry Doty, who have two very distinct tones of voices to them, right? And them as these two senpai characters is just a delight. And them bouncing off of each other and having these two distinct tones works very, very well, having, like, this contrasting vocal, like, sound to them. With Terry, we kind of talked about it a tiny bit when we talked about Afia, because Terry's character is the older sister of Afia's character. I had mentioned that they kind of fall, to an extent, in the same kind of tonal group or family, in a way. And it works very, very nicely, having a similarity to have it resemble them as siblings, but it's still enough of a difference to let them stand out on their own, which is a lot of fun. And then you have Natalie, who is just really, really adorable, but also very confident. One of the reasons why the astrology and geology clubs got merged in the first place is because, so in the year prior, during the cultural festival, Monroe decided during the cultural festival to dress up, to pull a Haruhi Suzumiya, and, dress up in a bunny girl costume, and she got in big trouble.
Do geologists dream
Yep.
of bunny girl?
Basically, yes. But
I don't know, but Aniplex won't dub it.
Well, they're cowards. We've long established that. They also won't let them re-release Bakano in America.
Extreme cowards. Anyway, so Monroe has this fun confidence about her, but both Natalie and Terry have kind of these interesting, like, inner conflicting turmoils about themselves. So with Sakurai, she, about halfway through the show, or maybe a little before that, Sakurai has this inner conflict with herself about what she wants to do with her life, what she's passionate about, like her dream, because everyone around her has some sort of dream of what they want to do. But she doesn't have one, and she doesn't know what she wants to do. And how Terry portrays it, I think, was beautiful and very well done. And then Monroe and Natalie, it's only a small little bit for Monroe, but it's also very impactful. So when Monroe and Sakura graduate from high school, there's this moment where Monroe is looking through all these pictures, and she's not in any of them, right? Because she had been the one in charge of taking pictures of all of the trips and all the events and all the activities that the club had done that year. Well, the rest of the club decided as a surprise, they got together and pulled together some pictures that have Monroe in there, because they realized that there were no photos in the album that she gave of Monroe in there. So they found pictures, put it in there, showed it to Monroe, and she was like, is that what I look like when I was smiling? Because she didn't know if she actually had fun while she was in the club all this time. And it's a very small, soft moment for Natalie, and I think I really like how she handled that, because it's like, oh, I did have fun. That's what I look like when I'm happy and having fun, and I'm not questioning like all this stuff, because before that, like, both Monroe and Sakura had to deal with like entrance exams for college and stuff like that, so they were pretty stressed out and busy. But no, they each have their own fun little inner moments that kind of give a bit more complexity to the characters, and both Natalie and Terry handled it very well, so kudos to them.
Oh yeah.
I'm done.
Noah?
Yeah, the let's see how I feel a little repetitive here, and because we're saying like this was good, and it's not because like we weren't paying attention to it and we are like numb to it. I think we were actually intrigued by the, like Lilac was saying, the little eccentricities of each of the characters, where you have their archetypal designs, and you're like, okay, this is going to be a cutesy show with maybe some emotions, but maybe not a whole lot of depth to it. But the senior characters give us the most. You were mentioning about the moment near the graduation with the photo album. What stands out to me is the scene where she's actually helping paint the planetarium.
Oh yeah.
That whole bit where, without making the other two think about it, she's getting them to, press forward with the project, because painting the plants is hard to do without them even noticing that that's what she's doing. And despite the and I do love that her gift at the end of graduation was the moon. So basically she's going to be the lead villain in Despicable Me 4.
God damn it. Why you do this?
Okay, I have to ask if everybody else saw the video of a bunch of guys who dressed up as the Minions and grew. And they did that for Halloween, and they did the whole "we're going to steal the moon" thing as their Halloween costume.
I did not see that.
I'll have to send it to you. It's pretty fucking great.
Send it over. Yeah. So for not playing Michael Scott, the performance of these two for both. Sorry, I lost my note here. For Natalie as Monroe was a little subdued, and she doesn't get as many dynamic parts as some of the other characters. But her voice is interesting because Natalie kind of sing-songs performs her voice. She's a little more hushed than some of the other characters, but she's it feels like she's trying to give off an affectation of calming everyone down by taking on all the worries of the world for herself, so that no one else has to worry about them.
Yeah.
And that, again, that's unique of the voice cast. So that's an interesting choice for Natalie's performance, because I don't remember what the archetype was in the Japanese. Like, I don't know if it's that much different from what Natalie was doing, but it was certainly fit for English. And that's what we praise on this podcast, is people being able to take characters that have a Japanese archetype and give it one in English that fits, one that isn't a mimic, but fits for the English language. similarly, the oh boy here. So Terry's performance of Sakura is also interesting because this is getting into the depth that I think more people can relate to. Like, not everyone can relate to Natalie's always being in charge mentality, but let's take a show of hands here. How many people in this call, and even people listening there, you can raise your hand too, have had instances in their life where they didn't feel like they knew what they wanted to do in the future?
Oh God, that was my
Yes.
senior year in high school.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's me basically every day. So,
But you'll get there, Jet. We will get you there one day. You will have your aha moment. I guarantee it. But that was that's the part of Sakura's character that it doesn't really come into play until a little bit later in the show. In fact, it's not till we get that mineral going to the mineral show thing in episode 4, where was it 4 or 5? No, it was 5. I'm sorry. And so I like that the show kind of held off on that. There are some shows where they front load you with, this is my personality quirk, or this is my gimmick right at the beginning of the show. But this show rewards you for paying attention and gradually gets into the minds of some of the side characters as we go along. And Terry's, how do I describe this here? How did I write it down? I think I wrote it as, her voice isn't as squeaky as some of the other younger characters, so it gives her that sense of maturity that contrasts the younger characters. And especially in a show like this, which is kind of dry in its descriptions of geology, which Sakura is more interested in, it's kind of nice to have someone who's serious about it. They're not, I suppose they're not obsessed with it to the point that they're unsociable. They're interested in this and they want to know more, and that is admirable. So yeah, mimicking what Steph said here, these two did exactly what we wanted for these characters.
Yeah, let me go next then. And I really like that they used Terry as one of the actresses as the characters for this. I don't think that Terry gets to be in a lot of these like cutesy moe shows that she deserves to be in, and frankly I think that Terry Doty is just an underutilized actress in general, because I've never really disliked a lot of her performances.
yeah.
I really like her performance as Sakura, because she is very much the one that you never get to learn what her dream is. So I like that she kind of stays as the one person who doesn't really know what they're doing, but she knows what she needs to do it. And I really like the sense of, I think that she has a personality the way that she does because she's afraid to be open and vulnerable, and that's something that I think Terry got across very well in her performance. I think that she, for sure, really nailed the scene where the guys help her start boring stuff, and she talks about, well, I always thought everybody would think I was boring, no pun intended, that I would be passionate about something. And I think as a person, too, that I'm very much the same way, where, like, Sakura is very clearly invested in her thing, and she doesn't like if people don't like it.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like to share. And at first, I like the fact that she is very hesitant about it, but then by the end of it, she does even remember stuff for them, because she has grown as a person. And I really think that Terry's performance really takes that through, in that it's a very easy that you could have made Sakura's performance just like a standoffish tsundere, when she is more of a well-rounded person through her work. And Natalie as Monroe is very much, it's very much a Natalie performance. Natalie has a very distinct voice, but I think that she really does capture Monroe's sense of being, because one of the things I do appreciate about the show is I actually never caught on that Monroe never felt like she was having fun.
Yeah.
And the only time that you really kind of see her really express herself is when she talks about wanting to be an astronaut. And those scenes of when Sakura talks for her, and you realize that they've become, despite being enemies at first, very close friends. And I like how it's Sakura she talks to about when she's trying to jump to touch the rocket and she can't. And she's like, And just, well, no, it's a very, and just Natalie's delivery of his space is so far away.
Yeah.
It's like this very wanting thing. And like Steph said, she really did nail the part where she's like, did I have fun?
Yeah.
Like,
You never would have expected it.
Yeah, you can imagine. So, Jet, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. So starting off with Terry Doty, I don't get to talk about her in a lot of things, but I've always thought that she was a pretty good actor, and I liked her a lot here. She did a pretty good job of, sounding like the serious one as Sakura, but never to the point of, being too prickly or overbearing. And I thought she handled that pretty well, and it made for some pretty fun interactions. Especially like with Mira, like that, like when that one bit where they're going to like the museum and Mira's like terrified the entire time because she thinks that Sakura is angry at her for some reason, and I thought that was pretty funny. But she bounces off a lot of the characters pretty well, especially as especially Monroe, and they have like a pretty good dynamic. And like you guys were saying, I thought Terry did a pretty good job of handling her whole like inner conflict with not really fully knowing what she wants to do with herself, and kind of dealing with the fear that other people think her hobbies are boring, which is something that always feels relatable to us nerds. So
Yeah.
I thought that Terry did a really good job of handling that, and that whole arc was pretty interesting. Likewise, I thought Natalie did a pretty good job as Morino. I thought the performance had like a pretty decent RR energy to it, and she sounds very much like the relaxed one of the group. And again, I wasn't expecting a Marilyn Monroe joke about her, but that was like pretty amusing.
It's a little more. It's more subtle in the Japanese, because I had to look up whether that was the actual joke in the Japanese, and they don't say the word Marilyn Monroe. They just say, why Monroe? And she's like, well, you got a mole and big boobs. And they're like, that makes sense. So I guess it was more subdued in the original.
I'm surprised it was subdued because I have seen a couple of anime that were like pretty explicit about referencing Marilyn Monroe. So I'm a little surprised that wasn't explicit, but okay.
Why not?
But yeah, I thought that Natalie did a pretty good job of trying to like the very relaxed and down to earth one, and she was a lot of fun, and she did a pretty good job of bouncing off of Terry, who was like constantly serious, and I did like the whole like conflict towards the end with graduation, where like where you realize that she's kind of been struggling this whole time with having to deal with the responsibilities of being a club leader and feeling like she wasn't really having as much fun as she thought she was supposed to, and then realized that she did generally have a good time during everything, and I thought that Natalie did a really good job of making that whole thing sound sincere. And again, I really liked her whole dynamic with Sakura. And I thought it was pretty interesting that they decided they wanted to go to the same college together, and that they're basically roommates now. So that's cute.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Another subtextual possible lesbian couple. ...
That's who knows. Anyway, are we going to move on to the next set of characters?
Yes. As oh boy,
they are our teacher advisor, Miss Yuki Endo, and Mai Inose, the other member of the geology club who eventually ends up becoming the club president after Monroe and Sakura leave. She is known as Miss Inose, playing Yuki Endo, is Megan Shipman, and playing Inose is Bryn April. Megan Shipman, you'll know as characters such as Sono from 18 If, Homura and Dr. Stone, and Snow White in the Magical Girl Raising Project. Bryn April, you'll know as characters such as Mimosa Vermilion and Black Clover, Akane Sakurada in Castletown Dandelion, and Tsumugi Harudi in Soul Eater Not. Steph, kick us off.
I still need to watch the dub of Castletown. I'm realizing.
You really don't.
Listen, I've seen the show in Japanese, so why not, right?
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, I was just wasn't. I've got memories of Castletown Dandelion, most of them being, why is this, how, what, logic, what?
Listen, it's one of those shows where you have to turn your brain off. Anyway, let's see.
I'm using it.
I need to use my brain, guys. I'm gonna start with Bryn on this one. Bryn is a sweet cinnamon roll, too good and pure for this earth. Inose is a sweet cinnamon roll, too good and pure for this earth. That's basically this character in a nutshell.
Call her that at one point?
Didn't who?
I think she does call her cinnamon
roll. Suzu called someone a cinnamon roll at one point in the show. I couldn't remember which one though. It might have been Inose.
It's probably Inose, considering Suzu seems to have, like, second to Misa, she has a thing for Inose. No, Bryn is just so sweet and adorable. She is the moral center in this crazy group, because you have like Monroe, who has this confident kind of like out there energy, sometimes occasional troll. You have Sakurai, who is the more mature, like almost strict a little bit, and then you have, of course, Mira and Ao, who are kind of like, Mira tends to be in her own little world half the time, and Ao is just trying to come out of her shell. So Inose is this moral center that kind of holds the group together, because she plays to both the geology and the astronomy sides, and she just tries to be a good friend to everybody. And Bryn, I think, does a phenomenal job with that. And then, similar to the two senpais, Inose does have a little bit as well, because she becomes president of the Earth Sciences Club very abruptly. And Inose is doing that thing where she's trying to figure out what kind of president she wants to be, which is very typical of high school shows like this. And Inose even actually gets to be a badass for a minute and do this whole, like, testing thing. I can't remember the name of the testing. Not shiny thing, but
Earth Science Olympiad.
Yes, thank you. She decides, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Why not? This will be fun.
And she bombs hard.
She bombs pretty hard. But she's like, I'm still glad I did it. I mean, it's still pretty cool that I did it. And she made a friend along the way. And then, okay. We were talking about Danny Chambers and big girl voices before. I have never heard Megan Shipman do a big girl voice before, and this is it here. Like,
really?
As far as I can remember, I've never heard Megan Shipman do, like, a older character. It's almost a similar vein of, like, fucking, Macy Ann Johnson, who plays the teacher in the new Higurashi dub.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to that regard. But Miss Endo, Jesus Christ, Miss Endo, she's a good teacher, she's a good advisor, she's able to predict what her students are essentially going to do. Like, she always has the answer. Like,
I put the barbecue on the schedule already.
I put the barbecue on the schedule already. Oh, you want to go check out the stars? I already got you permission with the roof key. Here you go, happy birthday. Like, she's a really good teacher and advisor on that regard. She also fits in with the girls, too, because she is such a nerdy person herself. Because we find out she's also always been into astronomy as well. She got the girls to go to Jack's because she's been there before, and because also we find out her grandfather is really into astronomy. We find out Miss Endo also did the shiny thingy before, where she met a couple of friends as well. One of them who also ended up being a teacher and being, I think, the chaperone for, I think it was...
She's the chaperone for Alexis's girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it goes to show that your love of sciences and things like that can still, like, still give you that passion and that fire. And Megan's Miss Endo, I think, portrays that very, very well. She's just a lot of fun. I love it so much. But no, both Megan and Bryn do fantastic work here as well. So notes. There's not really a bad performance in the bunch, so...
Jet, go ahead.
Okay, so I think I will actually start with Megan Shippen. Like I was saying, I'm not quite used to her playing older characters, but I thought she did a pretty. I thought she did a pretty solid job here. She came off as like a very. Susan came off as like a very laid back teacher. Just, like especially everything when it came to stuff like during, stuff like when they were having the barbecue, and she was like, sitting the whole time in the corner, just like taking a nap or something. I thought that was pretty funny.
Wake me up when the meat is cooked.
Yes!
So she's just laid back like that a lot of the time, but you can also tell that she's like very supportive of her students, and I thought that Megan got that across really well.
Mm-hmm.
And she could also be like responsible where she needs to be. I thought it was pretty funny, like when they were going on the Jackson trip, and she would have let the grandpa come along because it was supposed to be the kids' vacation. I thought that was like pretty amusing. But she did at least buy him a Jackson hat, and that was nice.
Yes, that was cute. He
Yeah.
just really wanted to go, and he's like, no. We got a
What are you
hat.
gonna buy? What didn't you buy?
What didn't you buy, Mira?
What didn't you buy?
yeah, it wasn't super surprising to learn that she was like into asteroids when she was younger, and I thought it was nice that they did a pretty good job of helping like Mira and Al along, and I thought like Megan did a pretty good job of making her sound very supportive towards them. And it was also a little amusing to learn that apparently she was like a lot more serious than when she was younger, because it's hard to imagine this character ever being that serious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I guess that makes it a
She's
little
very
funnier.
more lackadaisical when she's older.
Yes.
That's not uncommon. Once you've gotten the serious out of your system, you're like, wait, I can bullshit now? All right.
I can bullshit now. Nice.
Yeah. And then Althea,
Bryn?
You mean Bryn?
yeah, Bryn, my bad. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes wrong. There we go. So Bryn, as you know, she did a pretty. I liked her performance a lot. She sounded very polite and sweet, and you can tell right away that like next to Sakurai, she's probably like the most responsible one in the group. And I thought that early on she did a pretty good job of sounding ditzy a fair chunk of the time, but also being like weirdly insightful when it counted. So I guess in hindsight, it's not like super surprising she ended up becoming president. I also thought her whole like obsession with maps was pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah,
and-
that's right. That was so cute.
And Bryn did a pretty good job of getting across her enthusiasm. But yeah, I feel like the point where the character really comes into her own the most is when she has to become the new club president.
Mm-hmm.
And Bryn did a really good job of selling a lot of her anxiety and we're being put in charge.
Yeah.
When, the character herself seems a little too reserved to be in a position of authority. And you can kind of tell that she had a tough time struggling with that early on, and Bryn did a really great job of getting that across. And like as the character kind of gets more confident and comfortable in the role, you can definitely hear that in Bryn's performance, and I thought she handled that evolution really well. And yeah, really nothing to complain about. Both these ladies did a good job, and especially Bryn, really great.
Noah.
I am going to be a little critical, and this goes, again, not to the performances, but just to the archetypes of the show itself on the Japanese side, which is that I feel like while Bryn's performance of Inose is exactly what the character needs, it's also a little similar to Tia's performance of Tamori that we meet near the end of the show. So she has to stand out from that, and I feel like the way that Bryn does that is kind of exemplified in her, one of her earliest lines, where they're talking about how the club has only 5 members, and they kind of wish they had one more so they could evenly balance out the Earth and the astronomy side of it. And so Inose's response is, "That's okay, I'll have enough energy for 2!"
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which is it's not only emblematic of the way that Bryn brings a lot of energy to the character, it's also fitting because Inose kind of comes up with the schemes throughout the show. If you pay attention to people who come up with ideas for what they're going to do, it's kind of Inose's idea. If I remember
Usually,
correctly,
yeah.
it was her idea to have the Geo Cafe for their culture club idea. It was a couple of ideas of hers that paid off when she became president as well. So, contrast to president and vice president, Inose was really the one who had the schemes that made the club function at all. And I'm gonna, so that's a criticism I have though, is just that it sounds a little similar to Tia's performance. But again, that's just because it's a higher pitched archetype that, if it's performed well, yet all you have to do is really hold that energy without letting it, like spike the microphone. And Bryn does that absolutely well. And I do love that she gets to, as you say, flex her her shine. She gets to shine a little bit more in the parts where she's taking on challenges like signing up for the Olympiad event, which I thought there were going to be sporting events involved. No, Mira, no, it's not that kind of Olympiad.
My sweet summer child, no. No.
But, yeah. So Inose is an interesting addition to the whole cast, as like you were saying, the mediator kind of between the earth and the sky, as it were. She even, in like a flashback scene, she says, I tried to take the neutral ground in between Sakura and Monroe when they were fighting with each other.
Yep.
Heaven and earth.
Man.
Yes. She was mad.
Man, human.
She was mad.
Yes. So yeah, she's good. Now you guys say that Endo was their teacher, their faculty advisor?
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't believe you, because the way she's designed, I thought she was just another student.
Yeah, same.
That's fair.
It's
fair.
It's a Doga Kobo thing. The adults still look like children. It's just the way it's designed.
That's fair. It's a fair assessment.
And even with those, like the immaturities that Endo has, balanced out with the rally the troops moment she is treated less like a teacher and more like just a big sister or an older member of the club, which is perfectly fitting for the way that Megan portrays her. Now, Lilac, you said that you haven't really, or at least don't remember her doing a big girl voice like this before. Like, you're more used to her more moe voices.
Not more that I can immediately think of, yeah.
So you haven't seen
Unless
Citrus,
you magically
have you?
remember one that I might have seen before. Because that's always possible.
Well, that's what I'm asking, is you haven't seen Citrus yet, have you?
I have seen Citrus. That's not that much.
I thought Steph was on that episode. Oh, wait, no, that was Andrew.
No, I wasn't
No.
on that one.
No.
But
No, wait, that was Andrew.
no,
She didn't grab that low-hanging fruit.
That's
but
not that
her,
much of a big girl
her
voice.
Yeah, her Yuzu is, they're supposed to portray more mature high school students. So, yeah, she gets to use her more big girl voice in that.
Yeah, not that much big girl voice on that one.
I'm just saying, it's not Aoba.
Right. It's
The
not
stark
Alba
contrast.
from New Game. Yes, stark.
Yeah.
Very stark.
So Megan getting to do this kind of voice, it unfortunately means that she doesn't really have any quirks in her voice. It sounds like what I believe from, because we have actually met her before. We got to meet her at Anime Fest a couple years ago. This voice is just very much closer to her natural speaking voice. And if you can take your natural speaking voice and still voice act with it, that is in itself a very good trait to have. Some people have dynamic, standout, natural speaking voices, and they can also just be good actors. And some people just have more natural sounding voices that can also perform what's written on the page pretty well.
Yes.
So for everyone was saying about how Endo is a good adult figure for the other characters, it's carried on because Megan has that kind of natural maturity to her natural speaking voice, and I do kind of hope that she gets to use that in more roles and doesn't just get relegated to the cutesier voices in the future.
Yeah, I'll definitely over to these guys. I'll start with Megan as Yuki. I like the fact that she was a little bit more sisterly, because usually in shows, the faculty manager, the faculty teacher is usually a one-off thing or a stereotype. And I like the fact that she was able to really get across how Endo can emote and relate to the girls, because she was once those girls.
Mhm.
So I really liked it there. Obviously, I like the parts where they're like, wow, so much for being an adult, like when she can't eat the spicy food.
Yes.
Also, shout out to the fact that her grandpa's played by Brendan Blaber.
Oh, is that who plays Grandpa?
Yeah, that was Brendan Blaber.
That's adorable.
No, so I think that she did a good job getting that across. I really like the sense of, like, youthful maturity. Like, she doesn't sound too old, but she also doesn't sound too young. But again, the thing I really like about her performance is how genuine she does sound about how the person she once was. And how she encourages them to be the people that they want to be. And she does still scold them sometimes, like when Al pulls her stunt, but, you know, shit happens.
Yeah.
And then, I really like Bryn's performance as Inose. I really enjoy the fact that she finds her passion in map making. I think that is such an interesting way to get across this character, that she finds joy not in discovering things for herself all the time, but for putting things together for others to discover.
Yes.
And I think that Bryn gets that line of bubbly energy and calm mediator down to a T. I think that this is a performance that really encapsulates a lot of what I think people really like about Bryn April's acting. And I'm glad that it got to be put on display here. I also really like when she makes friends with that girl at the Olympiad.
Yes.
And you find out she has trouble, and she, like, yells and screams, and she doesn't really understand what's going on. But I also really like that she, of all people, that she and a lot of the other girls also experience failure.
Mhm.
And that they pick up from it. Like, I love how she talks so nonchalantly about failure. How she fails the Olympiad test. And that gives Monroe confidence, because Monroe hadn't gotten her thing as quickly as
her
Sakura.
Her acceptance letter, yep.
Letter. And I really like just her scene of, like, I'm gonna go do this thing. And I thought she also has those really cute moments, like how she almost misses a test because she gets distracted by the back alley.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about my Inose and Endo. So let's get to our last two characters.
Yay.
The not as overt lesbians, but they're totally lesbians.
Do we get the lesbian Gemini in the sky finally?
Yes. Mira Konohata and Ao Banka. Mira is a energetic doofus
I love
who
her.
really wants to find an asteroid after she meets a little boy who what she thinks is a little boy as a childhood. Turns out that it is Ao, who is a girl who looks very boyish. Ao also wants to find the asteroid after their promise, and is a lot more soft-spoken and reserved, but is trying to get themselves more out there, and eventually learns that sometimes you've got to just go for it and be a child instead of giving up on your dreams. Playing Mira is Lindsay Seidel, and playing Ao is Morgan Berry. Lindsay Seidel you'll know as characters such as Maya Fey in Ace Attorney, Tama, Sakai in Defrag, and Aries Boreas Grey Rat.
Jesus.
Blah, 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 blah.
Gesundheit.
Fuck you isekai names. In Jobless Reincarnation, Morgan Berry you'll know for their work as Akihiko Arai in Barakamon, Sorane Matsuyama in Bokudan. If my favorite pop idol made it to the Bokudan, I would die. And Love Life Sunshine in Yoshiko Tsushima in aka Yohane in Love Live Sunshine.
I had to look up that title to make sure that was an actual title and you weren't just venting.
Yes, that is an actual. No, that's a real thing. So is the name Aries Boreas Grey Rat, who deserves to be in a better anime.
I will take your word for it.
That could be its own YouTube series. And next on deserved to be in a better anime.
You deserve to fall in love with the better character, not fucking Rudy. Fuck that kid. Anakin, Order 66, that little shit.
Oh,
Let's get this started with Noah.
that's dark. That's just dark there. That's like Mandalorian dark. Wow. Okay, we can take that's all right. We can take the darkness of the universe and tie it into these bright sunshine characters because Doofus is a pretty apt description for Mira, and in all the most loving, affectionate ways we could possibly use that phrase. And Lindsay Seidel was absolutely on the ball for this performance. You were saying that this was mostly recorded in quarantine, right?
I believe so.
But it's more
Like
more than likely, yes.
Like the timeline seems to line up, right? That makes this doubly impressive because, okay, so Lindsay's portrayal of Mira is, and this was the note that I put on my sheet in front of me, more energetic than even the animation could match it. Like there's scenes where the animation, which for the most part the overall animation is pretty standard, basic talking heads kind of animation. And then there's scenes where Lindsay's audio coming out of Mira is just so cutesy and syrupy and I don't want to say over the top. I guess I just want to say full of life that it kind of portrays the basic lip flaps. It's like it's trying to break the screen and the frame rate to be more over the top than the character design can even give it. And I mean...
Okay, so just to give a context,
yes,
they got up to episode 5 in the studio before they
had to switch over.
They got up to they did the first 4 episodes at least in the studio.
Okay, so they got through the summer camp, and right about the time they were planning for the culture festival is when they started doing it from home. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And that's, I mean, knowing that in context, I'm sure I could go back and look for, like, noticeable differences, but just watching it as a straight marathon, I didn't notice a drop in quality between the episodes.
Neither did I.
So good on you guys. You guys did an amazing job. Yeah, I'm gonna... Again, Lindsay is supposed to be portraying, like, the most archetypal moe voice that Mira has, and it is held together and very well, to the point that even her angry voice is adorable. There's scenes where she gets upset. She calls people, "You're a big fat liar," and it's still really, really cute. I just want to take this character home with me and, feed her, and I want to help her find her asteroid.
Oh my god.
The poor girl deserves it. Put this girl on the magic school bus and help her find her asteroid, for God's sakes. In fact, she is so great that I don't think Ao deserves her, honestly. Because Ao...
Wow!
That's a bold statement, sir.
That's mean!
I think that Ao needs to work a little harder for her Mira. Because what does Ao do throughout the show to, earn Mira's affection?
Have anxiety.
She's got a lot of... I'm saying she's got to hold up her end of the lesbian bargain. Relationships are not 50-50, they're 100%. And Mira is doing 150% of the work. That's all I'm saying. But how does Morgan actually portray Ao? Morgan gets to go into the more lower pitch. And because that is supposed to kind of be like a boy voice, or at least in the flashback scenes, I kind of assumed that Morgan was going to do the same thing in the present day, but it really isn't. Like, I never got the sense that Ao was supposed to be, like, really tomboyish or at least androgynous. The inflections still feel very feminine to me. It's just a slightly lower pitch, closer to... I lost my flash here. Closer to Terry's performance. They're just in that lower pitch compared to some of the other characters. But I was kind of impressed near the last third of the show because Ao is threatened with having to move because her dad gets a new job. That is where Morgan actually gets to be a lot more emotional. She gets to have a bit of a breakdown. She gets to be a little more selfish. And she actually has to fight for something that she wants. Whereas throughout the rest of the show, Ao was being a little more passive in the involvement, was just going along with them to different places, going with them to a beach competition. But here she actually has to fight for something. And that's where Morgan gets to, flex the chops of Ao, as it were. I still think that Mira could do a little bit better. But as far as like contrasting off of each other, they are the heart and soul of the show, and I'm sure later on in the manga they will find that asteroid.
It's just
So I won't hear it.
Awesome, thanks, Noah. Jet, go ahead.
Sure. I will start with Morganberry. Is how I thought she did a pretty good job of making her, sound very, sound very quiet and kind of reserved compared to Mira, who is very energetic. And contrasted to that, I was very like awkward. It's very awkward, especially when it comes to Mira, and I thought that was really cute. I also appreciated that that Morgan sounded a little more boyish compared to some of the other girls, which definitely helped to play into the whole initial confusion where Mira initially thought Al was a boy, which I appreciate. Which I appreciate that they didn't like dwell too long on that. It was just like, oh, you're a girl, cool, and they move on.
I honestly thought that was going to be a reveal, like that Al was actually transgender, but no, they dropped that pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, that got dropped very fast.
Yeah.
It's like, no, yeah, it's me. What?
I mean, you could always canon them as non-binary, just like their actor.
That's true.
That's true.
Their performer.
Yeah.
But not Morgan did a. Not Morgan did a really good job of just making Al sound like professionally awkward and kind of and kind of dorky and whatever interacts with Mira, but I kind of liked a little bit of her conflict later on in the show when there's the whole thing about her parents moving away and her and her having to like make a case for herself as to trying to like move in with Mira and needing to say that to her parents a bit. I mean that could be a bit of a rough thing to deal with as a kid. So I thought that Morgan did a really good job of portraying that. And I thought she did an equally good job when it came to the whole like science Olympic things and her decide to just like throw caution to the wind and go with Mira no matter what because it really means a lot to her to have their dream fulfilled. And I thought that Morgan did a really good job of getting her determination across. And like Morgan just did a really good job on her, and Lindsay Seidel is Mira is really interesting because it's the same voice she did for Akane and Gridman, but it's but a lot more exaggerated, which is honestly kind of surprising, but it certainly works. It does a really good job of making Mira sound like cute as a button. And,
no, she is. You're right.
It's
the figurines.
So it's just fun watching her like bounce off of a lot of the other characters and sound like over enthusiastic about like literally everything, especially compared to Ao, and it makes her whole dynamic pretty fun. And also, like, I also appreciate that the tone of voice just kind of makes like some of the things she say just sound, I don't know if maybe not unintentionally funny, just like funnier than they would be if she were doing like a regular voice. Like I don't want to keep harping on it, but just like hearing her in that like extremely weird, overly cute voice saying like, oh, she has Marilyn Monroe boobs is like really funny to me for some reason.
The way she says it like
No,
you
yeah,
don't
the way-
It's so good.
Because one of Mira's things is that she loves giving nicknames to everybody, and
Everybody.
the way she explained Monroe's was great.
You just don't expect this cute girl to be like, your boobs are huge.
Basically.
but that was pretty funny. But of course, whenever Mira has to be like a little more serious, like going back to the whole conflict with Ao and her parents, I thought that Lizzie did a pretty good job of handling that and trying to help Ao stand up for herself, and also making a case with her sister, and I thought that Lizzie handled all that extremely well, and And of course, towards the end, when they're like doing the whole, when they're doing the whole like chatty talents thing, and they're trying and ultimately failing to find her asteroid and kind of dealing with the disappointment from that. I thought that Lizzie did a good job of selling the disappointment, but also but also the determination to like keep going for a dream. And I thought they handled that really well, and I hope they do find their asteroid someday. Admittedly, I was a little annoyed the show didn't end with them finding it, but I mean, I
Yeah.
guess it is an ongoing manga, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like that whole message they have about how, no, we didn't find it, but our research will be useful to those in the future, and hey, we'll keep looking for it. But yeah, for an anime story that doesn't intend to continue the story, that is kind of underwhelming.
Steph, did you go
I have
yet?
not. Let's see. Let's start with Morgan. Morgan is Al. I'm gonna largely agree to what's been said about these two already. Morgan as Al is very very sweet, and just Al is very timid and shy at the start. Mostly because you learn very quickly that kids say the darndest things. So, I guess either in elementary school or middle school, Al said something.
It was middle school.
Al had said something about being, like, getting all wet or some shit. And it was taken completely out of context, because of course it was. So Al was just like, I'm just not gonna say anything anymore. So poor Al. But over the course of the show, Al, and by extension Morgan, gets to open up the character a bit more, bring the walls down, be a bit more active in the conversation, and be more of themselves than what we originally first see out to be. And I think Morgan does a phenomenal job, just not only as this fun, kind of nerdy, but also timid character, and also having to counteract with Lindsay's Mira having this different tone of voice to her, to Ao, and it just makes for a fun dynamic and back and forth between Ao and Mira. Now, okay, so if Brin's Inose is a sweet cinnamon roll, too good and pure for this earth, Lindsay's Mira is just pure fucking sugar.
Just a pixie stick.
Just a pixie stick. It's just a pixie stick, and it's just so cute and precious, and you just want to give her a big ol' hug because she's so adorable. The tone of the performance actually reminds me not of Akane from Gridman, but Noah, you might have to help me here. Her character from Konohana Kitan. Yuzu. Thank you. It is Yuzu.
I got it written down here somewhere. Continue to talk while I verify this.
I'm pretty sure it's Yuzu. Because that character is very sweet and like a sugary, like sweet, cutesy kind of voice. And it works here again very well with Mira, because Mira is just like this energetic, kind of a goofball, just like so determined. It's like, we're gonna find that asteroid, we're gonna do it. And she also is struggling and learning new things because she's still not that great when it comes to astronomy, and it's just this fun, sweet, sugary goodness from Lindsay that just works so well with the character, and again is a great balance to Morgan's Al and the kind of a little bit quiet, timid nature that Al does have and that the character carries over the course of the show. Oh yeah, these two are so cute and adorable and precious, and I love them. I love them a lot. Mira's a good girl. They're all good. They're all good girls.
They're all good
girls.
Except they forgot to write their name on a test.
That was just Al because she was so excited.
Yes.
That's nonsense, though. Like, who gives a person a 0 just because they wrote the wrong name on a test?
It's
Noah, there are a lot of asshole teachers out there.
Apparently.
very true.
I'll start with Morgan and their work as Ao. I actually really like this. I like that a lot of times when Morgan plays characters, they are genuinely usually like little boys or more hyperactive female characters. See Moroha and Yashahime and Yoshiko.
Yes.
So having her get to play a female character that is a bit more subdued, but has their moments of freak out. Like, I love how everybody freaks out whenever Ao screams.
Yep.
And especially when her mom's trying to get pictures of her, she's like, Mom!
Mom, no! I don't need pictures of me in the maid outfit.
But no, I really like that Morgan's performance does get kind of this gentle nature of Ao across and how dedicated they are. I will say my one actual big complaint of the show is that Ao basically gets to do the shiny challenge, even though she didn't get to do the shiny challenge.
They just kind of hand wave that away. Yeah,
they kind of, you're observing.
You're already
You're
here.
observing.
What are you
It's
gonna do?
fine.
What are we gonna fucking do? Send you home?
I mean, yes. you
Swim
could.
back, motherfucker!
I mean, yes, you could.
Have
send
fun
him home.
swimming, bitch. But no, I again, and I appreciate Morgan's a lot like Terry, where I don't think they utilize Morgan's full range a lot.
Mhm.
I do think that Morgan deserves to get a lot more leads. But I think that, again, Morgan gets across this very well. It's hard to also talk about I more than what you guys have already said. So I want to talk about Lindsay. See, everybody's giving, like, different answers for what Lindsay Seidel character this sounds like. This sounds like Nezuri, but higher pitched for me.
I can hear that, yeah.
And I think that as much as, I think, again, this dub has really expert casting of, this is a character that is a high key paired with a low key character. Let's get actors whose voices complement each other. And I think that Lindsay's higher pitch, cutesy, more girly voice, because again, Lindsay does have such a wide range of characters that she plays, works very well against Morgan's more low pitched tones. I think that, again, like you guys have said, Lindsay got across the very pixie stick nature of it. And I think the thing that I like about Mira is that she is always so happy-go-lucky. I like that she is the star that keeps shining. I never really found her to be an annoying character, and I think Lindsay's performance really helps that. A character like Mira could be very, very much a big turnoff for a lot of people. But she handles it great. And I realize now that there's another really great scene I want to point out that Morgan handled expertly, and that is with the little girl who doesn't really care to look through things because she thinks that the stars are dumb, and the really expert way she does the stars are a time machine.
Yes.
So yeah, again, for both of them, great work all around. Let's move into final thoughts, starting with Jet.
This is a really solid dub. Everyone was pretty well casted. I thought they did a pretty good job of making the characters sound fairly distinct for this kind of show, and the script. And I thought the script was pretty fun, and they had a pretty good amount of like natural dialogue to kind of, help it back and forth flow and make things come together pretty well. The show itself was pretty solid. Again, I'm admittedly not like a huge like cute girls doing cute things kind of person. So my initial interest with the show was in the hope that it actually would kind of lead into the romance angle a little more, and I was kind of a little sad that it didn't. But I did learn some like cool new science facts out of it. So
Learn you some shit.
Yep. So I'm at least grateful for that, and I do think that this is at least a solidly executed variant of this particular genre. So yeah. So on that end, I would say this show succeeds, and it is. And I mean, on a scale of shows Kobo has made, this is far away from the lower tier of their stuff. So if you're into Moe, this is a pretty solid recommendation. And I can definitely recommend the dub as well.
Awesome, Steph.
This is a very cute and comfy show. You can just curl up on the couch with some hot chocolate and a nice warm blanket and a sweater, and you can just spend the afternoon watching these cute and adorable girls as I keep pressing fucking spacebar for some fucking reason. Sorry! My notebook, like, I have my keyboard flipped up so it's out of the way of stuff, and then my notebook keeps hitting the spacebar, and Twitter is on one of my monitors and just keeps going. Anyway, no, cute, adorable show, so comfy, so chill. The dub is great. I really like it. It doesn't. The direction is great. The casting's great. Performances are great. The writing makes sense of all of the science jargon that's thrown in there. It's not overcomplicated. It's not completely dumbed down to a level for
Poland
for babies.
Europe.
And it just works so nicely. It's so chill and comfy. So yeah, I would definitely give this show a watch if not only if cute girls doing cute things is your kind of deal, but if you're like into chill, kind of like comfy little shows, and you just need an afternoon for something cozy.
Noah.
Yeah, I didn't want to use the word cute again because everyone keeps using that. So I went to my shelf and I grabbed my thesaurus to find all the synonyms for the word cute.
Oh,
and
God,
they all
here we go.
they apply to the show absolutely. This show is pretty, attractive, adorable, dainty, lovely, and quite beautiful. In not just the calming, cute girls sitting around sipping tea, eating cake, and talking about geology and the solar system, but also in the struggles that they go through, the anxiety about the future, even the present in Ao's case. It's all very well-trod territory. Kind of like Megan was saying before we started recording, it doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it plays that wheel pretty darn well. And this show reminded me of something I had kind of forgotten about, was that I actually did also go through a very serious solar system obsession phase in 3rd grade. And I know it was 3rd grade because we each had to pick one subject to do a presentation on in front of the class, and I picked the solar system because I was really into the planets, the asteroid belt, what lay beyond it, the Kuiper belt. So seeing a show that kind of reminded me that, yes, this is actually really interesting, and seeing a show that kind of encourages other younger viewers to take an interest in geology and astronomy is really encouraging to see. It's, from what I remember from Megan saying, it probably has a similar fan base to those who really liked A Place Further Than the Universe, a show which I still have yet to see, but sounds like it taps into a similar nerd interest in something as well. So you're not going to find a show that tackles exactly the same subject, but you will find one just as adorable as this. So if you've got a hankering for science and you've watched all of Nova, but you really want cute girls in your science show instead, and Bill Nye's not cute enough for you, put on this show. Put on Asteroid in Love.
What? Bill Nye's not cute?
I didn't say he wasn't cute.
Bill.
Ow, 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 ow. The science girl.
What?
Asteroids rule.
Jesus
Cool.
Christ.
Anyway, so my thoughts on this is that I like the show a lot. I thought that this show was very cute, and I thought the dub was very, very cute too. I think that they nailed what the show needed to be. There hasn't really been a lot of really bad dubs that have come out in the last, 5 or 6 years. Do I think that this dub might have gotten outclassed by other shows in 2020? Yeah, last year was a arguably very strong year
Lord.
for dubs, and this year might even be stronger. But honestly, I think that everybody involved in this at Okatron did a great job. I think that this is a very easy show to watch. I think that they make the very sciencey aspect very easy to palate. And I think that, to this credit, it doesn't give in to a lot of the other Moe shows things of high-pitching everybody's voices, or just making these girls not actually like, I think a big trapping of a lot of cute girls doing cute things shows is that they don't ever actually take what they're doing as a serious thing
That passivity.
for the girls. And I like that this show did actually give, while the girls could be very laid back, they clearly gave a shit about what they were doing. And I think that was I like the message of chasing your dreams, even though it might be hard and you might be fail, because I think in some sense, the records of your failures could help somebody else succeed. So yeah. If you'd like to watch Asteroid in Love, I believe you can watch the sub version, both on Crunchyroll and Funimation, but you can watch the dub through Funimation. Funimation has also put out a Blu-ray only release of Asteroid in Love, which you can pick up from retailers such as Right Stuff, and Jeff Bezos' big yellow box of shit.
I like that. I'm sorry. That's great.
But if you'd like to support us, we are the Dub Talk Podcast. You can follow us here at YouTube at Dub Talk Podcast, as well as follow us on Twitter, Twitch. Tumblr is still actively dying, or is dead. Please don't perform necromancy. If you would like to support us as a one-time donation, we do have a Ko-fi link below. But if you'd like to support us on a regular, you can go ahead and be our patron. And we wouldn't be anything without our patrons, who include my mom and dad, Michelle Travis, Miracula Corazon, Nico Robin but with Yowie hands, Sue Tweed, and Victor Maborda. And our $10 patrons, those were our $5. Our $10 patrons, Carly Lesticow, Crimson Echidna, Jacob Wilson, Jared Hawkins, Julia W., Marissa Lenti, and Otaku Anthony. Guys, quickly shout out where you can be found.
Side note, Dub Talk's also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Oh, that too, and we stream on Twitch.
All right.
Done.
Go ahead, Jet.
Oh, okay. Very quickly, I'm Jet, and you can find me on Twitter at @TheFinding, where I will usually, I guess, be writing about anime or cartoons or movies or like whatever is going on. It's a pretty decent time. You can also find me on another Podcast O&A, where I'll say we're usually talking about anime news alongside fellow Dub Talk host Andrew.
Noah.
Hi, my name is Noah Clue. You can follow me on Twitter at Noah Clue, where, because I'm a family man with a 60-hour-a-week work job, I like to post pictures of my kids and everything else I'm doing out in the wide world, as well as talk about animation. And I have to say right now that if you're only watching the Japanese stuff, you're not getting the best. You're missing out. There's some really good stuff out there being made. Go watch Amphibia Season 3, watch Owl House Season 2, and definitely
Noah!
Go watch Molly McGee on Disney Plus right now.
Holy
No,
Jesus.
no, you will. I know we just passed Halloween, but no, go watch The Ghost and Molly McGee. It's really funny. Go watch it.
Stephanie.
Hello, my name is Stephanie. You also might know me as Lilac. You can follow me on Twitter at Lilac Anime Review, with review being spelled R-E-V-U-E. I have a blog, lifeandtimesotaku.wordpress.com, that I haven't done much with. I am also one of the people that have been streaming on the Twitches. With Andrew, we've been playing the Somnium Files currently as of recording this, and as of today, I started streaming Animal Crossing because fuck.
Oh no.
Because fuck.
Oh no, we lost her the first time we gave her
No,
the game.
you lost me when they sent the game to me like a year ago. It's just came back now.
This is the year that I lost my dear friend Lilac. Sometimes I can still hear
a voice.
I'm not
I'm
dead.
still alive, you know.
If only Stephanie were here to see this.
Anyway,
I'm Megan. You can follow me at ClearNerd2, where I ship posts on the regular. I also am one of the people who stream on Twitch. I'm currently still playing through Fire Emblem with 3 Houses. On the Blue Lions route, we've just been taking a break due to some personal stuff in my life. So, with that being said, I think we have stayed up and watched the stars too long and picked up some rocks too late. Let us all go to bed.
Yes.
Have a good night, everybody, and otaku on my friends.
Have a good night.
Good
Dream
night,
of Makoto
everybody.
Shinkai backgrounds.
good night, everyone. Otaku-on.
Also, happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Welcome to being old.
Thanks, I'm 300 a weeb.